Hello, everyone. It's Brian Hakeem here. Welcome to my 59th live stream. Today is Saturday, January 9th. Hi, Dan. Do you hear me?
Hey, Brian.
Hey, how are you?
Very good, man.
Well, that's good to hear because this episode took the characters and the characters and the audience to a very interesting place.
Yeah, that's for sure, man. I actually watched this episode the other day, and I was just like, wow. Like, honestly, if it wasn't for that cliffhanger, this would have been like a masterpiece for me.
It really would have been just all the tension that was building up. I was so excited. I remember watching the promo and it went all the price will be paid, and just I was so nervous and excited, and the fact that it was just cut so short. Hey, Epic.
Hey, Epic. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's good. For some reason I can't see the chat. Don't know why. But that's odd. The chat, the live stream is going on YouTube, right? In the chat?
Yeah, I'm on the chat right now, actually.
Okay, yeah. I wonder why I can't see the chat. Hold on. For some reason All right. I'm opening up on YouTube. Oh wait, I see it. Okay, yeah, you guys are here. Let's see. How are you guys doing tonight? Yeah, how are you guys doing tonight?
Very good, man.
That's awesome to hear. Yeah, I had quite the day. I had to wake up, go to work. I do 2 shifts. I had to wake up at 2, and I came back around 2 o'clock or it was like close to 2 in the afternoon, and I took a quick nap, then started preparing and watching the episode and a couple other things, and boom, the time hit. Like, I wanted to do this sooner, but I just finished the episode now, so yeah, it's crazy.
No problem, man. Yeah, that does sound like a pretty crazy day.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know how. Hopefully I won't ever have to wake up at 2 a.m. anymore. So, anyways, yeah, I mean, this episode, it's not perfect, but I will say that if some people say this was a terrible episode or that it's overrated, I don't think so.
I disagree, to be honest.
I do think, though, it just had so much potential to be I don't know if it's in top 10 lists, but I feel like it just would have been it really would have been not just top 10 but top 5 or top 3 if they just showed that depth, I think.
Exactly. If they would have had the depth, I would have definitely put this in top 10 best episodes. Maybe even you just said top 5, because it's just that one problem,
Yeah, it is. And man, everyone did a great job this episode. All the actors really put in their A game, and Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Negan. At first, I wasn't sure about him because I was thinking, and at first, I thought if he's a good, I didn't know his previous roles, but I guess I was kind of hopeful. But then seeing him with the beard and everything, so I know you don't like the beard, but I actually am okay with it. And yeah, it's kind of
the only reason why I don't like the beard, to be honest, is because I don't hate it. I think it's still, I think he pulls it off, I guess, is one thing I'll say. But I don't know what it is. I when he shaved in the season 7 mid-season finale, that was the one thing of that episode I was just like, wow, he actually looks really scary without the beard.
It's weird. I find him more intimidating with it. It's more realistic. Yeah. It's I mean, we'll get to that.
He does. He kind of grows it back too, and because he shaves in the season 7 mid-season finale, but then he's pretty much clean shaven throughout all of season 7, the rest of season 7. But then in season 8, it's he grows it back, and then his hair gets shorter. So I'm I don't know, that's just weird.
Yeah, it is. I don't know.
I mean, they do cut hair at the sanctuary, so I guess maybe Negan just got a haircut throughout between season 7 and 8. But it was kind of weird how he had really long hair in the finale, and then in season 8, he just has really short hair.
Oh, hey, Sixer is here. He says, "What's up, Brian?
Awesome.
Hey, man, what's up?" I mean, he's in the chat, not like talking to us, but yeah, Sixer. So it's I'm here with Dan from Dan's Reviews, and Epic was here a little bit. I think he's having difficulties with his microphone, but yeah, if you have a microphone, you can actually join us in the discussion if you want of this episode. So
Yeah, definitely. We would love to talk with you, man.
yeah, so if you have a Discord account, I could send you the link to our Discord page, and we could all talk together. It's totally up to you. If not, you can just type in the chat, and I'll read your comments. So
And also, we have four people watching this stream too. So anybody else that wants to join in, just let us know.
yeah, exactly. Man, I was really hoping to get a full boat tonight. I really thought this would be the episode to do it.
I know. Well, that's actually one of the reasons why I suggested this one too.
Yeah, like imagine how disappointing this is how I'm starting to feel. It's like okay, imagine you take out Carl, Maggie, Daryl, and then Glenn in this lineup. It's like it's not bad. It's just like, oh man, I was kind of hoping for more. It's like
Yeah.
that's kind of how it is. That's how I'm feeling. Sixer says, sorry I missed like 20 streams or how many it was. I'm really not sure, Sixer. I mean, I'm almost at 60 now. It's crazy. But yeah, man.
Yeah, we haven't seen Sixer in a few streams. It seems like.
Yeah, I think so too. So, it's crazy. Like, my uncle, he actually looks kind of like Jeffrey D. Morgan. If you give him like gels, slick back hair, the leather jacket, he can actually kind of pass as a TV Negan. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's actually kind of another thing that I found kind of funny too. Is that like I actually really did like the Negan with like the slick back like hair, but in season 7, he kind of lost that. It seems like.
Yeah, it's more like bigger and then just stand up, like not slick back.
Yeah, it is.
I like this more. Like this, it's crazy. After one episode, somehow Jeffrey Dean Morgan's first episode, like 10 minutes, 5, 6 minutes of screen time is it's better than I feel like all of seasons 7 and 8 as far as that we got.
That's true. I just wish that they would have written his character more like the comic, because comic Negan, at least in my personal opinion, is one of the most enjoyable characters around this time in the comic.
I think that they just like retcon. This Negan feels like a completely different Negan from season 7, 8. He really does. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, okay, the premiere not so much, but still, I don't know what they did. It feels like Negan had like a off-screen transformation or something, because
It's like the first episode that really felt different for me with Negan was episode 4, Service, and even The Cell 2, episode 3. Some of those episodes around there, I'm just like, he felt a little different,
Yeah, I definitely think in The Cell he started to change. Let's see, we have Epic trying to join us again. Hey, Epic, do you hear us? Yeah?
Can you hear
Epic?
us?
Epic, is your mic all the way on? We can barely hear you. You there?
Epic?
Let's see.
Yeah, it's like I can only hear him like halfway, or like maybe not even.
Yeah. Is Matt doing something tonight? Is he doing the Sorrowful Life, or is he doing something with Wasteland?
He's active right now in Discord. Hang on.
Yeah, I tried to
No.
invite him, but
Yeah, I don't know.
hmm,
That's weird.
yeah. So I guess we can talk about the episode. So with the whole we know how the episode starts with the light, the light shining through like bullet holes, and what it's actually the van, and Variety seen it's either Michonne, Rosita, Daryl, or Glenn. It's either one of their perspectives. I don't think we ever find out, but I think Daryl's the first one that gets out. So
I would kind of assume that it was Glenn, like when I was watching this, because like it seems to be like whenever you see the point of view shot, it's like it's the person that's at like the furthest part of the van, and Glenn's the last one that comes out.
Yeah, Epic, we hear you.
All right. But yeah, this episode would have been really, really good if it wasn't for the cliffhanger.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it sucks. The moment after 4 years, you realize this episode still would have been fantastic if they didn't do that stupid cliffhanger.
I don't know
Yeah.
Yeah,
what Gimple is thinking.
No, this
I
is.
don't
I
know.
feel like this is like one of Gimple's like first like big mistakes, you know. And then season 7, he just expanded from that mistake and just did a bunch more, you know.
I feel this was the first sign that season 7 was gonna suck.
You know, honestly, even though I didn't like the cliffhanger, I remember watching this finale, and even though there was a cliffhanger, I was still just like, I cannot wait for season 7. And oh, it let me down so much. Honestly, it's so disappointing.
Yeah, I was just so disappointed with that cliffhanger. It's just I was really waiting for the price to be paid. I really did not want a leak to happen. I knew it was going to happen. I heard some rumors or ideas of people about the cliffhanger, and I didn't want to. I didn't want that to happen because I knew there was going to be a leak or something, and I wanted to get it all done, in the last episode. And yeah,
Yeah, and also because like season 6 is like the best season, but it's like I don't know when people ask me like what's your favorite season, and when I say season 6, I don't really say season 6 and like proud though. I just say season 6. But like if we saw the clip or like if we actually saw who died in this episode, I would be more like yes, like season 6 is like definitely my favorite. But because of that cliffhanger, I don't know. Sometimes I'm like yeah, season 6 is like probably my favorite, but I don't say like it's definitely my favorite. You know.
Hey Dan,
Yeah.
do you think that this cliffhanger ruined the entire season?
Season 6, you mean, or season 7?
No, do you think that this cliffhanger ruined the whole season 6?
Oh no, definitely not. I mean, I'm not. I don't even really think it ruined. I mean, I don't even think it ruined this episode. To be honest, it just affected it. It just kind of made it not as awesome as it could have been. But season 6 is a season. I still think, even including this episode, I still think it's the greatest work Walking Dead has probably done. But it's just it is unfortunate that they did this because if we would have actually seen the death, I think this season, like I said, it would be easier for me to say season 6 is my favorite. You know.
As great as season 6 was, I really didn't like the cover art for the DVD.
I actually kind of liked
the
it to be honest
cover art.
because it was kind of I don't know, I kind of like the TWD with it honestly. I don't like how they did the kind of like that black and white thing. I feel like they could have added more to it, but I didn't mind it.
Oh yeah, that's the one with the just Rick in the middle. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that they could have added more style to it. The
Yeah.
the cover, but like yeah, I agree. It's crazy after all this time. Season 6 is still my favorite because it has most of my favorite
Same.
episodes, and it has the majority of the cast that I enjoyed the most from The Walking Dead. It's got Glenn.
Hey Dan,
Yeah.
which do you think is better? The first half, season 6 of Fear, or this entire season 6 of the main show?
I mean, honestly, like I season 6 of Fear has been great. Let's definitely acknowledge that. But I just don't think at this point, as good as season 6 has been, and as much as I love Morgan's character and a lot of the other stuff they've been doing, I still think just this is the king. I feel like season 6 of the main show, that's going to be hard for them to pass. And I still don't think as good as the second half of season 6 will be that it'll pass the best season of the main show. I'll be shocked if I like it more. But so far, no, I think the main show still is probably on the top for me.
Yeah, we still have more episodes to see in Fear. So
That's true. And I mean, technically, we didn't even see all the episodes of the first half yet.
I find it funny how season 6 of Fear's Morgan is like amazing, but Morgan in this season 6 was terrible.
Yeah, he
It's
was
kind of
good.
disappointing too because he killed that savior in this episode too, and I thought he was coming back, but not really.
Yeah, they just wanted to milk the whole All Life is Precious Morgan another season. Like that's Morgan was not that bad this episode. We were on his side trying to convince Carol to come back. Like what she was doing was kind of stupid. And
Yeah.
just he killed that savior. His actual name is Roman, which I actually had to look up. But yeah,
Honestly, like I don't like season 7 very much, but I will say one positive that season 7 did have. I really just there's a lot of episodes in season 7 I don't like, and in particular the bottle episodes. But the one bottle episode I think season 7 did well was "Bury Me Here." I thought that episode actually stood on its own to be pretty good, to be honest.
By the way, speaking of that Roman guy, he looked like Merle.
I know. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, he kind of. Yeah, a little bit. He had that similar look.
DeRosa has entered the live stream. He says, "Yo, what's up, DeRosa? Glad you can come to the stream. Do you want to join
Hey, man.
the chat? Do you want to join the discussion? If you want, the link is in the chat. I put the link in the chat for Sixer. So if you have a Discord account, just add me as a friend, or yeah, just find my name and just on the Discord and just add me as a friend, and we'll try to join if you wanna. If you have a microphone and you want to join in. Okay, yeah. So the beginning of the episode, didn't like Gimple or somebody say the person who died was in the van, and what I mean by that is the person that was seeing the light in the bullet holes, because like you said that was actually Glenn because he was the further back, but then Daryl is, but then we see Daryl, come out first. He's the closest one, so it's a little bit weird, but also like I don't know, because like it's actually Abraham's perspective at the end of the episode, so it's kind of weird. Like, was
It's
that
weird
wrong?
because like they should have done, in my personal opinion, I think it would have made more sense story wise if like you see the point of view all throughout the episodes in like some scenes here and there of somebody in the back of the van, and then by the end of the episode it's the same person's point of view except now they're getting hit with Lucille, because I don't know, I remember when I was watching this episode, I'll be straight up honest with you guys, I thought that when we got this cliffhanger it was going to be one of those four, so it's kind of weird how they switched that around.
Yeah, like it really seems like they didn't know who to kill at this time. It really,
It's
I
like
really think,
Gimple had to make up his mind throughout the break.
yeah, it's like we're gonna kill off a major character, and that's how we're gonna end the season. And it's like, okay, well, who is it gonna be? We need to kind of set it up. And Gimple decides, like, by the time he's writing it, or when he made the episode, he didn't really know who to kill off, and that I don't know. That's kind of weird. I mean, don't get
It's
me
it's
wrong.
honestly like, did you imagine being one of those 11 actors like on the show, and they're just like Gimple's just like, okay, guys, you're gonna have to wait until like we return filming in May to read the script. So who dies? Like you just have to like, because they finished filming for season 6 in like November, and then the next year it was in May when they came back. You imagine just like waiting all those months to find out if you're gonna lose your job or not?
I know. It's just, oh
Like
boy.
me personally, if I was writing this episode, I would have, showed it. I would have killed Abraham, and I would have Glenn live on in season 7 and 8.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think that's what a lot of people wish. I think that Glenn is, it's just unnecessary, and the reason why I don't think it's necessary also is because it's too predictable. Everybody was saying it's Glenn, like everybody, and it's just like if you kill off Abraham and then you have, maybe a few other things go down, it's just kind of more like, oh, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, and Glenn was the only one who stood up at the lineup in this episode, so it really just was too on the nose that it eventually is going to be Glenn. Like, that was just too
It's like if they only killed one person, Negan wouldn't have been so hated in season 7 or 8.
Well, exactly. I honestly like. I find it kind of funny. I think I've asked Brian probably this question like at least twice now throughout my rewrites. I'm like, would you like Negan now? Like, because like I only killed Abraham. So yeah.
But by the way, Dan, I saw your video earlier about Rick's evolution, and we'll talk about Rick throughout the episode. But like, that was funny. Did you like my comment about about Rick being the king like of the apocalypse, and like I listed like the way Game of Thrones have list off character titles. I did that with Rick. Did you like that?
Yeah, yeah, that was awesome. I didn't expect all that, and I'm just like, man, just you like highlighting those moments. It's just like, man, Rick is see like. This is why he's my favorite. I don't know. Some of the stuff this character's gone through, I'm just like, wow. And honestly, in this episode, like Rick should have thought about things a little bit more, obviously, because he really like is just fully beaten in this episode. But like, man, I feel so bad for him because all he wanted to do is like keep his community alive. And then like this happens. I'm just like, man, like you really should have looked into this more.
Yeah.
Hey, Dan.
Yeah.
I hope you don't mind me suggesting Daryl and Glenn for the next 2 evolution videos.
Oh, no problem, man. I don't really mind, like, as long as it's not like, like 5 ahead or anything like that, it's no problem. And also because, Daryl, I'd like to kind of also get prepared and just, maybe maybe always suggest maybe like just 2 ahead, like maybe, something like that. Cause I don't want to get too many suggestions to where they're all piling up.
Because yeah, I suggested you do Glenn after Daryl.
Yeah. Oh, and I definitely will too. Glenn's a character I can't wait to talk about his evolution too. Because man, honestly, some people say Glenn hasn't changed very much throughout the show. I highly disagree with that.
I think
Yeah,
he
especially in season 3.
Yeah, season 3 is when his character really started to change. I found.
Yeah, absolutely. And he could have changed more, but that was a missed opportunity. Okay,
Yeah.
so we have okay, so yeah, Morgan is looking for Carol. We know what happens. And we have that guy who's just trying to find her. And okay, so yeah, we have the random guy in the woods who gets attacked by the saviors. And it's just it's funny, like uh it's I mean, okay, we know it's Simon, but it's like the first. But I was gonna say a joke where I'm like, it's Wade, guys, and like, no, oh wait, no, they decided not to go with that character. Um, back in episode
One
6.
thing, I actually used to think that Wade and Simon were the same character.
Me too. Until they gave him like the name, I was just like, "Oh, that's got to be the same guy." And then I remember in the season 7 premiere, like I think it was the season 7 premiere. He's like, "Simon, do you have a pen?" I'm just like, "Simon, that's his name?" Like what? Like
Yeah,
Also, speaking of Simon, I'm shocked they never made a Simon pop.
I'm shocked they didn't make a lot of pops. I mean, Beta's priority for me right now because they've already made too many Daryls, a decent amount of Michonnes. We
Yeah,
need a new
could you
Carol though.
imagine there being a Simon pop or a Simon 10-inch figure?
Yeah. Also pops that sell really well are Negan's, and obviously it's because he's such a crazy like rated character, but like I personally feel like a Negan with like the Whisper mask from season 10. I think that would actually turn out really cool if they did that.
Yeah.
all right, so we have so we have the characters back in the hilltop, and this was really cool. So like we have everyone who's just preparing to take Maggie to the hilltop, because obviously she's having this issue with the baby, and we find out later in season 7 that she didn't actually lose it. But I mean, it was still kind of weird seeing it the first time, but I mean, it works. I think, what do you guys think? Do you prefer this over the comic version, how like they're on a mission, and whereas in the comic they were just dropping Glenn and Maggie at the hilltop?
I kind of like this version better just because of the simple fact that it just gives like characters like Eugene and Aaron more of a spotlight and makes those characters feel just more important in this version.
And
Yeah,
also, one thing I never understood about that scene is how a lot of people thought that Enid like poisoned the pickles and caused
yeah,
Maggie
oh
to
man,
turn to that stuff. I don't
yeah.
understand that.
People still
I
said
I
Enid was a
actually never heard
spy.
of that.
Oh, I heard that. Yeah, I heard that theory. Um, Wait, Sixer says, "Did you add me?" Uh, Wait, Sixer, did you? Okay, so you have a Discord, right? And did you try to add me as a friend? Like, I don't see anyone. Yeah, Sixer, I don't see your username anywhere in the chat. Did you go back? Can you go back to that link that I sent you? And yeah, I can't see you at the moment, but I will try to add you as a friend if I can, or one of us. Maybe one of us can, but yeah, I'll try to add you. There should be a live stream with the boys page somewhere, and
Yeah.
you should be able to
Shouldn't be too
find.
difficult to find.
Hey Dan,
Yeah.
did you ever get my question that I left you about GTA 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2?
Yeah, I'm actually going to be saving that for the Q&A that I'm going to be doing on probably either Monday or Tuesday, and that's when the question will be answered for that one.
Because me personally, Red Dead Redemption 2 is a masterpiece compared to Last of Us 2.
Oh, I think honestly a lot of things are a masterpiece compared to Last of Us 2. I cannot honestly Last of Us 2 is I always say this too, but The Last of Us 2 is the game version of Game of Thrones season 8. It's like the game slash the TV show were so like big, and then it just like completely ruined the franchise.
Um, okay, so anyways, we have Enid, who wants to go to the hilltop, hilltop with Carl and them. And what do you guys think about this scene? Do you think it was kind of weird, or it came off okay? So like Enid's like, you want to see them kind of thing, and it was kind of weird. Like I didn't get that vibe when I was watching it. Like Carl actually
Honestly,
lost the fight scene.
I do like Carl in this scene though because it's like it's I don't know, some of these kind of moments does feel a bit more like comic Carl. I feel like this is something comic Carl would probably do, but I don't know. Like I feel like honestly, if I'm being honest, if I was writing this, I think I would probably actually have Enid in the lineup. I just think that the more characters in the lineup, the more intense it would be on who did Negan kill. And I don't know. I think that Enid, while I wouldn't have Enid die in the lineup, I would just have her there. I think it would make it just a little bit better.
Yeah,
Speaking of the lineup, it really blows my mind how in the comics the lineup had Andrea, it had Maggie, it
no,
had Glenn,
it didn't have
it had
Andrea.
Sophia.
That's true.
It didn't have
Whereas the
Andrea.
show, none of those characters were there.
Oh,
Yeah, I know.
in the comics, Andrea wasn't there. It was
Yeah, she was.
no, it was Michonne. Andrea was at Alexandria.
Oh yeah.
In the comics, it was a shorter line, like by a lot. I remember.
Yeah, it was Rick, Carl, Michonne, Glenn, Maggie, Heath, Heath for Pete's sakes, and there was like a seventh person. Man,
Man, they would never be able to get Heath in that lineup.
Oh man, like, yeah, definitely not.
Corey
Um,
Hawkins just be like, "You kidding me? In lineup? No."
Yeah, Corey, he looked like comic Heath, but he just wasn't loyal.
That's what's unfortunate about it too, because I'm just like, man, in my opinion, they got a perfect actor when it comes to in the TV universe, but in real life, man, that actor is just he's not perfect in real life. He should have been more loyal.
I agree. Sixer says it wouldn't let me join through that link. That's weird. Dan, do you know what might the issue might be?
Yeah, I don't know. Sixer. Do you have? Hang on. Let's see here. Can you let me know what your Discord is, and then maybe if you could message me, I could add you to the chat. Maybe we could do it that way if you want to do that.
Yeah. As long as he can find my name or find the live stream with the boys, I can.
Because if
Yeah,
you
there
can
should be.
chat your what your Discord is, I could add you and then also add you to this chat right now.
So, let's see. Oh yeah, and we have the part where Carl locks Enid in the closet for 6 months. Oh boy, what a way to end your character in the season. You get locked in a closet.
Yeah.
I've always wondered how she got out of that closet.
Oh,
Yeah,
Olivia.
they
Olivia
never
probably.
showed that.
Olivia probably found her.
Yeah, it would have been funny if like there's just like I don't know. It would have been funny if they just added like an extra scene in this episode of just like Olivia's just like, what happened? She's like well, like Carl locked me in here, and she's like, well, like where like where are they now? And like Olivia's like, they left, and she's like, are you kidding me? Like
Yeah.
Also, it kind of blows my mind that Enid would actually die 3 seasons from now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think any of us would have guessed that both Carl and Enid, because like as soon as Carl was killed off, I was really just Enid was a big question mark, and then it's like they tried the Alden thing, and they're just like, nah, this isn't working. Let's just kill her off.
It was just weird,
It was, and now Alden's like barely being used. It's like, what on earth is going on here?
That's probably why they killed off Enid, was because they were like, well, we don't have Carl anymore. Might as well kill her off.
Yeah, I'm definitely behind the Enid death. I think it makes sense, and also because like you got to add some like shocking characters to the Pikes. And honestly, even though I didn't really care for Enid's character in season 9, I still it still completely threw me off when I saw her head on the Pike. I was like, what?
Definitely.
Hey, Dan.
Yeah.
How do you think Carl would have reacted if he saw Enid's head on the Pike?
Oh man, yeah, dude. Honestly, part of me kind of thinks to myself, I'm like, what if they actually did keep Carl alive, but then they had that and it's just, oh man, Carl in season 10, he would be like Carol, but in a smarter way, in my opinion, because I feel like if Chandler Riggs Carl would have actually survived into the later seasons, I really feel like I just really want to know what he would have been like, adapting some of that comic stuff. But having Enid die, that would have really been interesting for the character.
Sixer gave me his username. He said you need to type the numbers in the search bar also. Yeah, I already did that, Sixer. I'm trying to search for it, but none of it's working. I don't know why.
Hang
Like
on.
it says no results, but I'll see if I can try again. Okay, so let's see. We have
I'm
oh
gonna
yeah, so
try
we
it as well.
okay, so we have Rick and the others loading up, and okay, so this is the part that's man, what kind of okay? Throughout the episode, it's like, man, what kind of hair gel does Rick use? Because he has the slick back hair as well, and then later in the throughout the episode, you see the slick back hair being messy, and it's like more forward, and then Negan's the one with the slick back hair. So that's kind of like to show like Rick is when Rick's not in control, his the hair changes. You know what I mean? So
That's always funny. Like I always notice that. Like not even just in this episode, but in the entire like 9 seasons. At least once his hair starts to get longer in like season 3, I'd say. Every time like he's like upset or like stressed out or something, his hair just like falls in his face. It's kind of funny.
Hey Dan,
Yeah.
how did you feel about Simon's introduction in this episode?
I loved it, honestly. I think that nothing's gonna beat the Negan one, but I think it's a close second for me because like honestly, I love the feeling of it when you see like everybody getting ready back at Alexandria and then you keep cutting back to like the guy running and you just hear the whistles. Like, oh man, I love that scene so much. And then when we reveal it's him, like when we see Stephen Ogg, I'm just like, okay, Walking Dead, you did a great job with that.
Also, Dan,
Yeah.
did you when you first saw Simon this episode, did you like see him dying in season 8?
Honestly, yeah. Well, honestly, when I saw him, I kind of was like wondering how long he was going to last in the show because he is still such a big actor, and I was kind of like I was wondering. I'm like, are they just going to have him around for maybe about half a season or something? That was like where my expectations were at. Is that I'm like, okay, they may use him for like a few episodes and then something will happen because I don't know. I just knew he was such a big like popular actor that I didn't know how long they were going to keep him. So honestly, I'm kind of surprised they kept him till season 8. But let's all be honest, they kind of needed him because Negan was losing us.
Well,
yeah,
if you think about it, Grand Theft Auto 5 really boosted his career.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like I was kind of like, yeah, he may be around for a few episodes, but no, I'll be honest, I was actually kind of grateful that they actually kept him till like the end of season 8.
yeah, oh, sorry about that. I was a little distracted. So we have the part where Aaron mentions how he wants to go to, and even Eugene, even though he got kind of shot, but I guess it was just like it's kind of weird. So like in episode 14 when he gets shot, like, and then like 2 episodes later, it's like no, no, I'm fine. It was just a grace. It's like you really had us worried there, Eugene. Like you were on your deathbed or something. But yeah,
Yeah.
and
I did like how Aaron also said though. Aaron's just like, you're gonna have to tie me up and like you're gonna have to punch me in the face and tie me up again because that's what it's gonna take to stop me. I love that line. I thought it was really cool from Aaron.
yeah, and
Also, one thing I loved about this episode is how they were in the RV, they were like on the road, and they just keep getting blocked by more and more road barriers and saviors.
Yeah, I like that. That's actually one of the best things about the episode for me is that like as they're on the road, like it's just like this feeling of like, oh, okay, they're blocked. It's like okay, but they'll get out of it. And then you see the second one, it's like, oh, okay, that's not too good. They got numbers, as Abraham says. And then like the third time, it's like, oh, okay, never mind. This is not going to work out. It's just as you see more and more like roadblocks, it just gets more like kind of on the edge of your seat type of feeling.
yeah, and okay, so everyone is getting ready. Gabriel even talks to Rick about how they're ready for the fight, and Spencer even asks Rick if they should make a deal with the Saviors, but Rick's like, tell them to wait. If they come, I have a deal for them, and Rick's obviously confident, and the part where they drive away, so they're driving away, and it's just funny. We see so at the gate we see Francine and the legend himself, Scott, at the gates, and
Yeah.
he's got no weapon on him. It's like he doesn't need a weapon if the Saviors come. He is bare fists. He can take all the Saviors down.
They could make Scott lose both of his hands and he would still be fine.
Sixer says, I guess I'll just have to watch the stream. I don't know why my Discord name isn't showing up on your end.
Yeah, I tried to search it up a few times, man. I'm getting no results, unfortunately.
Yeah,
I'll
I
keep
don't.
trying though.
Okay.
As awesome as the barricade seasons were, or the barricade scenes were, my opinion, Negan, he had way too many saviors in the show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Especially here, it was good. Here it was good, but then in season 7 and 8, they just went too far with it, like 1,000. Because like I
You
believe
know,
there. Uh,
one addition they should have done though is like with the saviors. I feel like they should have had when they were all whistling and stuff, and you see them all standing there. I feel like just that cherry on top in that scene would have been like if one of them like starts up a chainsaw or something. You know, like I don't know.
yeah, I think in the comics one was holding a chainsaw, but like in the show they just changed it to like melee weapons and guns, so I guess they didn't want it to stand out or something. But yeah, like also in this scene I think they said, how many saviors do you think were in this scene? It looked like the comic version, but I think they said that it was twice as many saviors as in the comic, which I doubt. I feel like there were just 50 here like in the comic, but in the show I think they said maybe
Yeah,
100. And I'm like,
I
I
would
don't
say
see
like
it.
100, like 50 to 100. I would say.
Yeah, I'm like, I see around 50 here. Like, right there now in this picture, I'm like, it could be 30, maybe 20 on the other side. Like, I could see that.
And
But
also because like they all have like you got to think like a lot of people probably when they see this for the first time they're like there's so many of them, but you also have to realize like there's a lot of vehicles that are like taking up a lot of room that make it look like more.
that's true. And like, it's kind of funny. Like, I'm like, when they show the Savior, it's like, oh my goodness, like these guys look terrifying. You know, they're big guys, large, and then you have Negan who, is not super large. But then in later seasons, we get like much smaller and less tough saviors that the survivors fight. Like, what happened to these guys? Like, we rarely see them after this episode.
That's true. They really lost like the intensity of the saviors during season 7 because like in this scene you're just so like worried for Rick and the others. Like regardless if you read the comics, and then it's like in season 7 you just get guys like Jared and like even Gavin was like such a chill guy. I'm just like I don't know. It really the tension like went way down.
Yeah, and you have Morales. He wasn't in this lineup. He wasn't in the lineup. He wasn't intimidating enough.
Like,
No,
yeah,
that's just weird. I don't
as
understand.
awesome as Negan's introduction was, I just can't stand the beard.
Me neither. I'm on your side with that, Epic. I mean, like I said to Brian earlier, I don't hate the beard. I don't know what it is. When he shaved in the show, I was just like, dude, like you look terrifying without the beard. I don't know. It's just a small nitpick. It's not a huge problem for me though.
Yeah. So okay, yeah, we mentioned Scott earlier, and okay, so yeah, we have Morgan who finds Carol. She has been, like, stabbed by that savior from the previous episode, and like it's just, I mean, yeah, so that happens. He finds Carol, and we have the saviors. Okay, so Simon, yeah, they're dragging that guy on the road, and he mentions how that's like we had a deal, that kind of thing, and your people kind of broke the rules, and now you for making an example out of you. So it's kind of weird. So like apparently according to the show there was like this library community, and that's the one that Morgan and Carol went to, and it's like I don't know, it really did not like it really just like didn't
They
seem that
didn't
much.
flesh that out well.
Yeah, it really seemed like that this was like a group that was just passing by or something. You know what I mean? But like it didn't feel like a community. And if like Simon wiped them out, this never gets addressed. Like, you know what I mean? Because like if Negan has multiple communities under his thumb, like wouldn't he? If one of them was wiped out, like wouldn't he know about it? Like I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like I guess maybe they were trying to show that this is the character that Simon was, but I don't know.
I kind of feel like the reason for this library group, though, unfortunately, because like I just said, they didn't really flesh them out too much. But it kind of feels like when Gimple was writing this, he's just like, I gotta use like a character, like a few characters, as they say, like to just show like how messed up the saviors are. It didn't really feel like they were like useful to the story. It just kind of felt like they needed something to make the saviors look cruel.
Yeah.
Hey, Dan, Brian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you know how season 9 we get the reveal that Simon was the one to kill all the Oceanside men.
Yep.
Well, do you think we're actually going to get to see all that stuff happen,
Oh no,
like in
no.
a flashback or something?
No, probably not.
They can't show that.
No, and I mean at this point, like if they did it now, it would feel kind of late too.
It is late. It is so late.
It
They
honestly feels it already feels late, like they're doing the Here's Negan thing. Like I personally feel like Here's Negan, if you're gonna extend All Out War for 16 episodes in season 8, honestly, there's a few episodes there that are so filler. You could literally just trim some of that stuff down and give us Here's Negan in season 8. Honestly,
definitely. Um, okay, so we have. Oh, okay. So I like this. We have, Rick, talking to Maggie. How as long as we're together, like as a group, as a family, we can do anything. I like this because it is kind of like rare we get moments between Rick and Maggie. You know what I mean? Because like obviously Glenn takes up a lot of screen time with Maggie, but you know what I mean? Like it's just one of those things where it's nice to see the actors working together on, you know what I mean, just the characters.
like when I was watching this scene though, I was kind of like, you remember like when Rick says that, and like Maggie's just like I think it's at another point or it's here, I can't remember, but there's a point where Rick's talking to her in this one on the way to Hilltop, and she's like, "I believe in you, Rick." And I remember the first time I heard her say, "I believe in you, Rick." In my head, I just saw that panel of her punching Rick later on. I was just like, yeah, I don't know if you're gonna be thinking that in another episode or so, but actually, I was kind of wrong because then even after Glenn dies, she still believes in Rick, so that's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
Okay. I am glad they didn't have Maggie punch Rick.
Me too.
it's still just so weird. Like she's having a fever, she's burning up. This episode, Maggie looks so deathly sick, and yet in the premiere, she's not sick at all. And even after Glenn literally died in front of her, she's just she like physically she seems fine. She's just
You would think that Glenn dying would make it worse, but actually she's better somehow.
yeah, that they never should have done that then. Like, because when I'm watching this, I'm just like, okay, how does Maggie go from having a fever to literally dying to just Glenn literally dies and she's just fine, like standing on her own?
Well, well, I guess because she still had the baby and she wanted to stay alive for the baby.
No, no,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's true.
but what I mean is, how in the world is Maggie like dying in this episode, and then in the premiere, literally Glenn dies and she is sort of fine physically, like she's standing on her own, she's mourning, uh, she like doesn't seem sick in the premiere. You know what I mean? Like it seems like it's
No.
on.
Yeah, it kind of also is kind of weird because it's like I don't know. I feel like I was just saying, like I feel like if anything after Glenn, like it would be worse like for her. But I kind of feel like even though I do like this episode, and I'm not gonna count this as like a big flaw because it still drives the story, but it does kind of feel a little bit forced that Maggie like had this problem with the baby. It kind of does feel like an excuse just to get the characters out there on the road.
I mean, like I didn't expect it, but I kind of thought it made sense that Maggie was having a problem. Uh, they were really not taking. They were not being careful during her pregnancy. I mean, No Way Out, then
It
getting
does
captured
make
by the
sense.
Saviors.
Like it does make sense on why they're taking her to Hilltop. I just more so mean like it's like the end result of this whole thing is like you just said. Like it's like she ends up just being like completely fine.
Yeah. Um. So we have. Okay, yeah. So we have Simon and the guys. They're spray painting that guy, and I like the part where Rick is just like looking back, and it's just like, okay, what are these guys doing? It's like I don't know. That was like his when he looks back at the group kind of thing, and
Rick's just like, what is the point of this whole thing?
yeah, it's like I think Rick could recognize a bloodied, beaten up man. You don't have to do a spray paint on him, like
It's like
because
we
like
got our
later they
point.
hang him. Yeah, because no later they hang him. So it's like I think Rick could have recognized that was the same man. He didn't need the spray paint. Like you know what I mean? So
Well,
The Saviors with their
I
spray paint.
think Simon was just trying to scare them.
with spray paint.
I
Oh right,
mean,
it works with
honestly,
Virginia.
if that was Simon's point to like scare them, I'm sorry. I think Simon failed. To be honest, I don't think that really phased Rick too much.
Yeah, exactly. And oh yeah, the part where Rick is like, you know, trying to make a deal with them sort of, and then he's like, I won't have to kill you any more of you. It's like, oh Rick, you just add salt to that wound. Like, yeah, the Saviors did have they were really messing up at the beginning, like dying like flies.
Definitely.
I think Sixer's with us. You here?
I was gonna say, yeah, there's
Yeah, I'm
somebody new
here.
here.
How are you guys doing today?
Hey,
Awesome.
we're really good, man. Thank you for joining us.
You're
Thanks, man.
welcome.
I like your picture. It's a
Thanks.
funny face of Plank.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Hey, Sixer.
What's up?
Who's your favorite character
Uh, on the show or in the comic? Because those are
in
two
the show?
in the show. I think if I'm trying not to be biased, it might be Negan.
Oh wow.
Like I'm trying to like separate my bias for a certain other character that I killed off before his time. But I think, like in my opinion, right now, Negan is my favorite character.
I mean, I can understand that if it's like, and in particular, like season 10, because I mean, honestly, Negan in season 10 is an amazing character.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
All right, so we have okay. So where did we leave off on? Oh yeah, so Rick mentions how you know so Rick says that they're going to go, and then we have Simon mentioning how what if this is your last day on Earth or someone in there? You know what I mean? Uh, I still think the episode should have been titled "Something to Fear," but I still that is a good name for an episode. Just not
It,
Negan's first
honestly,
appearance.
though, if they weren't going to do it, because I actually do, I don't mind Last Day on Earth. I don't hate it because it does relate to the episode and how it's somebody's last day on Earth, even though we don't actually get to see it because of Gimple. But
Yeah,
honestly, like. I think that if they would have done something to fear, at the very least for the premiere, then I would have been okay with it, you know?
Yeah, it kind of annoys me that we never got Something to Fear as an episode title.
Me too.
also, man, Abraham with the one-liners this episode when he sees the saviors and he says a curse word and just like, where does this guy come up with it? Like, I don't know.
I just find it so funny how each, like, every time they run into a roadblock, he's got a response. You know, he's just got something to say each time.
Yeah,
Hey, Dan.
Yeah.
Uh, before the season 7 premiere, did you see Abraham dying?
No, I'll be honest. As predictable as it is, because in the end, it actually did happen. It just was the second, death. But when I saw this, I was like, I remember This was actually when I started making videos too, and I was like, like the season 6 finale, it has all these point of view shots in the back of this van and stuff. It's got to be Glenn because he's the last one. He's at the back of the van, and then we get to see the point of view shot, and I'm just like, yeah, it fits. Like it's probably Glenn. I'll be honest. When I was watching this, Abraham didn't even cross my mind. He was probably like the second most likely, maybe third, but Glenn was the main one I thought they were going to do, to be honest.
yeah. People didn't
I
really.
didn't.
Oh, sorry. You were saying?
Oh, at first I didn't think it was Glenn because like of the way that it was, like the whole scene was shot and the way that it was edited. It just didn't seem like very impactful enough for it to be Glenn. I
By
think
the way,
like
who do you think it was? Like when you saw the season 6 finale?
who, me?
Yeah.
I I didn't really theorize about it too much. I just sort of like waited. I of course heard the leaks and the
Yeah.
rumors that it was Abraham and then Glenn, but I just sort of didn't really think about it too much.
Oh, me
But
too. That's the unfortunate thing is that we were all getting ready for this episode, but it's like these leaks, they just, man, honestly, this is why the cliffhanger shouldn't have happened.
oh right, all right. Like I kind of expected Abraham to die because he just seemed like knowing what happens later on with like the war and stuff, it would just be too much of a tactical advantage for the main characters to have him on their side because he's a soldier and all.
Well,
Yeah,
it would
yeah,
make it
that's
would have
true.
made more sense to have Abraham during the war because he was a freaking sergeant in the army.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm not against Abraham's death because it does shock, the fans, but and I personally just like Glenn more as a character, so if I had to pick between the two, I would actually probably pick Glenn to survive, but I still though, like when I see Abraham's death, I'm like, yeah, that character did have some potential still.
Definitely. Um, so okay, so where did we leave off? Oh yeah, so we have the part where Morgan is, patching up Carol and mentioning how he wants to bring her back, but I don't know, like this was really just like the unenjoyable parts in the episode. The whole Morgan and Carol thing about how if you have people, you're gonna want to kill for them, and I don't want to do that, so I'm gonna leave them. And it's like, Carol, Morgan and Rick, they saw the saviors you left behind when you left Alexandria. Like you literally killed them. Like, I mean, did you forget that? Like, I don't know. It's just kind of weird, like how they did
This
that.
whole Carol thing is odd because it's like you just said, like it's like seriously, Carol just killed Saviors like what, like a half an hour to an hour ago, maybe an hour ago, something like that. And it's just like now she's just like, yeah, I'm not gonna kill anybody. It's like honestly, like at this rate with all you've done, can't you just go back with Morgan? Like I don't know.
Yeah, that's
Yo,
my
yo, yo.
Hey
Hey
Matt,
Matt.
Hey, what up, y'all?
that's my biggest problem. With season 6B is Carol. She really
Yeah.
annoyed me this half.
I couldn't stand her.
We're talking about Last Day on Earth.
Yeah.
we got
I
a
love this episode.
yeah. Look, hey
We're
guys, looks
making
like we have a
about
full
40
boat
way through.
here.
What's up, y'all?
Looks like we have a full boat here.
Yeah, all we would need is Mickey and Cade, and we'd be set.
Huh, yeah.
You know, like the only good thing about Carol leaving the Alexandria safe zone is it led us to the kingdom.
Yeah, that's true.
Well,
I mean,
was
they
it-
could have still done it in another way, though. I honestly think that they still could have done like Jesus just introduces them to the kingdom.
Like, was Carol's like really strange character arc worth just going to the kingdom? Like, did we have to sacrifice her character just to go there? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, because her
definitely. I
storyline
don't
in the
think so.
second half just felt so bizarre.
It did, and it felt random too a little bit. Like kind of just how like all of a sudden she just leaves and stuff. Like I don't know.
You know,
yeah,
like,
plus she's the
the
star of the
Carol in
worst
the
episode
second
of
half
season 6.
season 6 and the first half season 7 really annoying.
I just wish she got away from that cabin. Like seriously, how long was she in that cabin? Like literally almost all of season 7.
I think she leaves the cabin and bury me here.
Yeah, and I'm
That's
just
like,
like
yeah,
I'm
it's the
just
whole
so
season.
grateful.
Yeah, and then we get to season 10, and she's just like, it's the worst we've seen Carol, honestly, is season 10.
I know season 10 Carol makes season 7 Carol actually make like season 7 Carol look pretty awesome actually.
Honestly.
Okay, so we have the characters going to the second roadblock with the saviors, and they have more men. And Sasha mentions and notices how they're not the same group as before. And then it's interesting. So Carl actually wants to take them on. If only they brought the rocket launcher. Can you guys imagine if they, before they left Alexandria, if they took that rocket launcher with them?
That's what I would have done. Honestly, like it's like you know full well the saviors are like out there. You obviously know you probably didn't kill all of them. And I know they're not expecting this many saviors to come up, but like honestly, like protect yourself and bring the rocket launcher.
Oh man, if somebody brought that rocket launcher, they could have aimed it at Simon and his men. Like, oh boy,
And then
that
they'd be
would
like,
have
okay, the road is clear now.
yeah.
That's my only problem with this episode. Another flaw is it gave us season 7 Rosita.
I mean, I don't really know. Like, I mean, I don't know. I don't really think the whole Rosita thing started in this episode. I feel like it was just more so like in the premiere once Abraham went, that's when her character, like, it's like, oh no, like, now we know what's going to happen to her character.
Yeah, Rosita was barely in the episode.
Yeah,
I'm
she
gonna
was
be
only in
honest.
there at the end.
The prime time they could have killed the saviors off with the RPG, in my opinion, is season 7, episode 4, Service, when Negan's at the gate with all his men.
Dude, I know that would have been a perfect time too, because like you guarantee get Negan because like he's right there, and then like you just keep going like honestly, but like Negan's like right there. You could have got him.
The only faction
and-
they'd have to worry about after is Simon's.
Oh.
Hey guys,
Yeah,
What's up, Epic?
how do you guys feel about Negan's introduction in this episode?
Fantastic.
I loved it.
It's amazing. This is honestly like most people like disagree with me for this, but this is actually one of my favorite finales. I have so much nostalgia for it.
Yeah, I would have said that this is maybe one of like the all-time best finales if it wasn't for that cliffhanger. Like seriously, if it wasn't for that cliffhanger, I think this episode is like close to perfect.
Hey, guys, I just thought of something. If the survivors did use the rocket launcher back in season 7 when Negan came, can you guys imagine if Kimpo wrote it to where literally, Rick or somebody shoots the rocket launcher and it explodes, and then boom, we see that Lucille has blocked the rocket launcher. Lucille blocked it.
He just flings back.
Oh my goodness! Oh, that would be hilarious.
Ridiculous and unrealistic.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
But I mean, I mean, Gimple. It is a little more stretched than the bullet that Gimple did in season 7, but it is still up there. It's around the same park as what Gimple did. So,
man, Negan was mad over a bullet. Just imagine how mad he'd be over a rocket launcher.
That's why I hate season 7 Rosita. She got Olivia and Spencer killed.
I mean,
Spencer, I don't think
Spencer got himself killed,
but definitely Olivia.
Yeah,
Spencer got himself
brought that
killed.
on himself.
Spencer kind of deserved it. I'm sorry. I mean, I know not everybody agrees with all the people Negan kills, but that's one of the ones. That's one of the few ones right there. I'm like, okay, thanks Negan.
I think the least deserving victim of Negan's is Glenn because he was worried about his wife getting hurt and Daryl punching him, he gets to get killed for that.
I know.
Yeah. It's uncalled for.
Yeah.
Just
like punish Daryl.
I know a lot of people blame Daryl for that. Me, I don't blame Daryl. I blame Gimple's terrible writing.
Yeah, I would blame Gimple too, but I mean, in the actual from the character's point of view, I would blame Daryl personally. If I was a part of that group and Daryl did that and Glenn died.
Yeah. Also, oh, sorry.
It's a lot of people's fault, in my opinion, honestly. You could blame Daryl because he's the one who got up and, instigated that whole thing. You could blame Negan because he's the one who acted it out. You can blame Rick because his overconfidence led to that whole lineup thing going on. There's so many people you can pin the blame on for that, so...
Yeah, in the end, Negan was the one that actually hit Glenn. He was the one that actually made the decision. But I do agree, though. I think Daryl's the one that started that, so he's kind of lucky that Maggie forgave him, honestly.
Well, yeah, but behind the scenes, it was because of Gimple.
Oh, yes. Yeah, definitely.
Gimple. My favorite.
Yes. Yes, definitely. And this something else in this episode, we see Daryl is shot, but he's just wearing a blanket. I don't know. It's just that was kind of weird. Daryl's
the superhero, Brian. Don't you remember?
Yeah, that's true. It's Daryl. I mean, yeah, he looks hurt after getting shot, but it's he's not even applying pressure to it. It's just sitting there. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Did you guys think that? Because Maggie's sick, and then Daryl is just. I felt like it wasn't gonna be Okay, actually, I'll tell you guys. I really thought it was gonna be Daryl, and here's why. That Daryl was going to die because Maggie needs a doctor at the hilltop and they only have one doctor. So I thought, that the doctor will only be able to work on one of them if they get to the hilltop. So that's actually why I thought it was going to be Daryl.
Yeah, I could see that. And I mean, that would have been crazy if he got shot by Dwight beforehand and then killed by Negan. That would have been insane.
I didn't think Daryl was going to die because AMC, they do not have the balls to kill him off.
No, he's the most important person there, it feels like.
Now he definitely is because Rick's gone and all them.
And I mean, they even let him determine how Beta and Negan are going to fight. Come on. Norman
has too much power, man. I'm telling you.
I know.
He's a true showrunner.
He's AMC's cash cow.
Yeah.
Norman's plotting it all behind the scenes.
It's secretly Daryl wrote all of season 9 and 10. We'd all be like, wow, you're actually a good writer. Just could we help you out a bit,
Yeah, so really quick guys, back to the episode. So we have Morgan going outside and finding a walker. I guess it was a person, and it's and he's dangling between this, I don't know what you call it, but it's this weird tower thing. And I'm guessing the Saviors did that, but they would have had to, I guess, have climbed up there or something to do that. But anyways, that's not the point. Carol somehow managed to... So let me get this straight. So while Morgan goes outside for a few minutes, Carol manages, while injured, to walk with walkers all the way far away, and she doesn't take the horse. Was that weird to you guys? That Morgan just gets the horse and just goes after Carol, but it's why didn't she take it?
Oh, yeah. Speaking of that horse... I just gotta say R.I.P. to it.
Oh yeah, in season 7.
Yeah, that's true. Them with their horses, man. Honestly, these horses, like, I can't with the Walking
Animals
Dead
in
horses.
general in this series just get absolutely mutilated all the time.
I know.
Except dog. You can't do it with a dog. Like, just.
You better hope not.
They've done it before in Fear. Remember season 2 when Nick was getting chased by those dogs?
Yeah, that's true. Oh, and I remember when he ate after the walkers ate those dogs.
That
that was so bad. Talk about unrealistic.
I would not have risked that if I was Nick. There was literally no way I would have even considered that if I was starving to death.
Me neither.
Yeah, Nick should have got poisoned or infected from that.
So
I know.
Yeah, Nick. It's funny. Nick can eat a cactus and throw up, but he eats a dog's guts and doesn't throw up. Like, I'm sorry, I don't get that.
Nick in those seasons felt like Daryl sometimes, like Fear the Walking Dead's Daryl. Like, it's like nothing like hurts this guy, you know?
Yeah.
It's such a radical shift, like the change from season 3 to season 4, and how all the storylines played out.
I feel they're not going to kill off Daryl's dog because, if they killed Daryl's dog, it would probably piss off Norman Reedus, and they don't want to do that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, look at the outrage that the Shiva death got too, and all the horses. Like, I feel like maybe Angela's just like, okay, the fans deserve a break. Let's just keep dog till the end, you know?
Yeah. So what did
Morgan's dog will survive?
Rufus.
That kind of had to happen, though.
Yeah,
it did. I agree. Budget wise, if you want to have a good war, I've said this a few times too. If you want to have a good war, unfortunately, you do have to take Shiva out at some point during it because you're not going to have the right budget for the rest of the war, honestly.
I mean, it's debatable if they still had a good war even after they took Shiva out.
Too bad this wasn't HBO budget, because then they would have been able to probably keep Shiva and have a good war.
I didn't mind Shiva dying. It's just the way it was done was just so ridiculous.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Dan and I fixed that problem. We had a much better idea that we came up with. It took us much less time than people did. Do you guys know
what
it was?
A fully-sized tiger couldn't fight off so many of those.
That's true. I actually, and also, because I actually fixed it in one of my rewrites I do on my channel for The Walking Dead. I actually did. It's basically where in my version you have Ezekiel that his zombified kingdom soldiers actually eat Shiva, and it's more emotional because it's just what a crazy thing to see. Ezekiel's own people zombified eat his tiger. I feel like it's more effective than what they actually did.
The way season 8 did it made no sense. A tiger is full power, and walkers at this
point felt random.
Spawny skeletons.
Yeah.
All right. So what did you guys think about the next blockade that the Saviors did with the walkers and the survivors stuff? So some of Michonne's dreadlocks and Daryl's crossbow bolt. So it's funny how the Saviors, they put Michonne's vest on one of the walkers, but not Daryl's vest. No, not Daryl's vest.
It's no, you can't do that. We love Norman. We're not going to do that.
Well, it's because White was you can't take this vest off me.
That's true, because he took it. So yeah, he's no, that over. Negan, all due respect, but I'm not doing that.
I know.
And plus, Daryl's vest is so iconic.
Also, I think it's the only thing that Daryl wears. It probably was the only shirt he had.
That's true.
It would probably look awkward if he was shirtless. But I know the fangirls wouldn't mind that. But I think everyone else would find it awkward, especially Negan.
I mean, Daryl's vest is very iconic because they made a hoodie with his wings on him.
I actually like the new look for Daryl though, with I know some people don't like it, but I actually do kind of find it's kind of cool how now the second wing is not there anymore, so then Judith fixes it. I kind of like that. It's very it gives it an iconic look for the new seasons.
Mm-hmm. You know what's a more iconic piece of clothing in The Walking Dead for me is either Negan's leather jacket with the red scarf or Rick's murder jacket for me.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think that honestly, that jacket, wherever that is, we've said this countless times, but Daryl, if they're gonna have Daryl change his look, that needs to be what he does. Just wear Rick's murder jacket or something, you know?
Hell yes. Me personally, I feel Rick's murder jacket is, in his bedroom closet hanging there in Alexandria.
Oh, most definitely.
Let's see. So, okay, yeah. So we have the part of the episode where Carol gets attacked by that savior, Roman, and you know, he just, he shoots Carol. So Carol's been stabbed, and now she gets shot twice. Did you guys think that Carol was gonna die in the scene? Because I kind of didn't think so, because I knew the death was coming at Negan. I'm like, okay, they can't kill off Carol and a major character. And you know what I mean?
No, I didn't.
I
I thought that death, like, it just, I don't know, it just felt like too easy if they were gonna kill her character like that. I didn't expect it.
I didn't think Carol would die because, similar to Daryl, AMC don't have the balls to kill her either.
I think they may actually, though, like, they may have more guts to kill off Carol though than Daryl. I could, like, if they had to pick, like, we have to kill one of them, they would definitely take Melissa out of the show before Norman.
Oh,
I agree
definitely.
with that.
But I would say that she's like second or third. Like they might want Judith as second or something, but I would say like Daryl, then Judith, then maybe Carol.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I
Then
mean,
my
no,
boy
they
Negan.
survived the series because of that Daryl and Carol spinoff.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there's no more tension now when it comes to Daryl and Carol. I mean, I don't think any of us thought that Daryl and Carol would die, like, in the show at this point, since, like, they're kind of all the show has, at least, like, in terms of, like, lead characters that's been there since the start. But, like, I don't know. I feel like at this point, it's kind of unfortunate because now there's, like, zero tension for those characters.
You guys hear that? You guys hear that ridiculous theory going around that Carol dies in season 11 and that she's just a hallucination in that Daryl spinoff?
I don't think so. I think that would really upset fans. I don't think that people would be devastated, but I don't know.
Like, how are they gonna do the Commonwealth arc justice without like all of these big players like?
That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah.
Like, I really, call me a pessimist or whatever. I don't really think AMC can stick the landing with season 11. I just don't think it's possible.
No, I mean, honestly, the Commonwealth for me in the comics is actually one of my least favorite parts of the series. So I don't know. And then, like, I feel like they are not in a good position to do it even as good as, like, in the comic because they're missing so many people. But I think visually, like, if the world can calm down a little bit, I feel like, man, the Commonwealth could look really cool if they could do it justice in the TV show.
Yeah.
Definitely. So we have the part. Okay, so yeah, Morgan, Ninja Morgan, sneaks up on the Savior, with his horse like 10 feet behind him. So like, I don't know how the Savior.
How did the guy not hear the horse though?
But Morgan hears Daniel and that other guy behind him. I think his name is Alvaro. With their horse and him. So it's kind of crazy how Morgan hears them, but that guy didn't hear him. And yeah, we have Morgan who he shoots the guy, saving Carol, breaking his code, which I really thought, I'm like, okay, I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense that Morgan's code was not 100% gone, but I thought, oh, okay, it won't be long now before Morgan stops his all life is precious, nonsense.
Yeah, and then little do you know, like, season 7 Morgan comes in and just disappoints us all until Bury Me Here.
Definitely. Oh, DeRosa asks, which villain would be the worst with Negan's army? Like, against them or with them?
Worst villain. Oh, wait. Repeat that?
He asked, which villain would be the worst with Negan's army? So, like,
With Negan's army?
So, like, teaming up with Negan?
Probably owning the army, I guess. Oh,
wait.
Would easily go to frickin' what's the character's name? That would easily go to Dawn. That would be the worst.
Yeah. I mean, like, worst when it comes to like the worst character to join would be Dawn, but like if we're talking like the worst character that would like make the most damage, like if they join Negan's group, I'd say actually, I mean, like Daryl is on the opposite side, but I'm just saying, like, take that out of the equation. Like if Murrow was part of the Saviors, that would be something.
The governor.
Yeah, I don't see him teaming up with Negan though, or being okay with it. But oh man, be who the worst villain? Martha. Imagine Negan working with her.
No, Negan would never dare work with her. He'd just be like, "Get out of here! You have no value. Like all you have is ninja walkers. Get out."
Yeah, not just that. He would be like, "Ew, you look dirty." It's like, when was the last time you cleaned up? Like, I think he would say something like that. Because Martha, oh,
he would just be like, yeah, there's showers at the sanctuary. Like, by all means, take one and then we can talk. You know?
Yeah, we can talk
and
after.
you get lost.
Yeah, definitely. I wasn't sure what DeRosa meant. Like, he said, yeah, what Matt said, owning the army. Yeah, I wasn't sure if he meant like the worst villain or like the most damaging villain for our
I mean, if Negan like actually let the governor join though, like, and the governor give like suggestions to Negan about how to handle the war with Rick and the others, I think that would have been crazy.
Yeah, the governor would have been like, kill them all.
I feel Negan would have killed the governor.
Yeah, because the whole people are resources thing that he's all about.
I don't think the governor was a very good strategist, if anything. I think he was very authoritarian in his approach to controlling people. He wanted power, and that's about it. Negan wanted power, but he wanted to like save people. Is what he.
I mean, the governor took out his entire army. So yeah, I don't know. I could definitely see your point of view on that.
Like
I think the governor was more dangerous.
I definitely agree.
Like 1-to-1.
I definitely agree. The governor wasn't a very good strategy because, like, like Too Far Gone, he just goes in there, attacks the prison, destroys it, kills Herschel, and then just dies.
Yeah, I mean, at least he went out in the show as like an actual villain. When Negan went out in the season 8 finale, like when Rick beat him, like didn't kill him, but when he beat him, I'm just like, yeah, okay, I'm kind of glad that he's not a villain anymore because it's been pretty lackluster.
DeRosa, he says, Martha, who's that? Oh, wait. And he says, what if Gareth was in charge of Negan's army? He would have ate them. He would have ate them, DeRosa.
Yeah.
Talk about, he would have had a giant barbecue. I mean, my goodness, 1,000 saviors. Can you imagine the...
They'd be set for life.
Definitely.
Yeah, in my opinion, Gareth, he needed to die.
Yeah. Honestly, that's why season 5 Rick is my favorite because he didn't hesitate with Gareth. He's just like, no, dude, like I'm not gonna let you, let alone do it to us, like hunt us, but also like to any other people that could run into you out there. Like I don't want any other people getting eaten by you crazy people.
Definitely. Okay, so we have. Oh, you know what's crazy? So like in episode 15, if Rick actually shot that soldier, if he shot Daniel. Oh wait, hold on. Who was that?
I didn't hear anything.
Oh, okay. Maybe it was Sixer. I just wanted to say, if Morgan did not stop Rick from shooting Daniel in the episode 15, then Daniel would not have found Morgan, and they would not have been able to save Carol. So that's
true.
So that's kind of crazy that like if Rick shot him, then Carol would have actually died probably.
They just should have gotten rid of this storyline altogether and just had like Jesus introduce the kingdom to the characters in season 7.
But then we can't have the well episode, said no one ever.
Oh no, I'm so sad.
I'm sorry, but that episode was by far the most boring episode I've ever seen.
Yeah, the cell
I was
was
gonna
worse.
say like it's not horrible. It's just like it's not a bad episode like Swear is. It's just boring. Like it's got like I can't rewatch that episode and be glued to the screen the whole time.
The worst episode of the Walking Dead universe, in my opinion, is the wrong end of a telescope from World Beyond.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to argue that honestly. That episode, it's just cringiness and more cringiness and more cringiness, and then the episode finally ends. Honestly, the best part of the episode was the end credits scene, which like I guess you could say a lot of people even miss that because they don't expect end credits. So
which one was that? Was that like the 8th one?
That was episode 4.
They're trapped in a
see, I don't even remember because all those episodes are the same. So
I know this might be controversial, but I feel the Cell, the Sanctuary episode in season 7 is better than episode 2.
Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, no. I think actually I would rather watch The Kingdom just because I do like Ezekiel and Jerry and them instead of listening to Easy Street and see Dwight kill a random guy.
Yeah, I like the Well more. I found it The Kingdom more interesting than the Sanctuary. Like, at least they did stuff. In the Cell, what was up with the whole Dwight going after that guy, and then he kills him, but he also ruins his bike, and then he brings his body back? Like, what was that? Like, none of it made any sense to me.
It's just weird.
was a failed attempt to trying to show Dwight's early redemption arc. And the problem with that is that Dwight's still a piece of crap until the mid-season finale.
Well, yeah.
Not even the mid-season finale, though. It's more like, what is it?
The end of the season.
Calamities? That sort of thing, where like Cherry goes away and we don't see her again until Fear, you know?
Oh yeah, he lets Dr. Carson die in episode 11. I forgot about that.
I didn't even like Dwight in episode 11. I only liked him. The only second I liked Dwight was when he showed up at the end of episode 15. I'm like, oh, Dwight's in the cell. And then in episode 16, when he leaves and stuff, and he's like, I can cut some trees down, I can slow them down. I'm like, okay, there you go. Now I'm starting to like you a bit, you know?
Season 8 he was great.
Yeah, all of season 7, I couldn't stand Dwight.
Me neither. And there was a lot of episodes that focused on him, unfortunately.
DeRosa asks, were the termites better in the show or comic? I think in the show.
The show.
I love the addition of Terminus.
Definitely. And he asked, the worst episode ever was that Eugene episode in the Sanctuary. Oh, Hostiles and Calamities. I did not like that episode one bit.
Honestly, if we're talking like season 7, though, like aside from Swear and Hostiles and Calamities, I also didn't like. Maybe some people did, but I didn't like Say Yes, the Rick and Michonne episode. I found that episode too bubbly and weird, honestly.
And that CGI deer.
Favorite episode of the season.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
And the CGI deer.
Hostile and Calamities wasn't a great episode.
I kind of think that they could have combined the Eugene episode at the Sanctuary and then the following episode with Rick and Michonne. They could have literally put those two episodes together, or literally put those two together and even a few other things. Like, it just didn't need to be two separate episodes like that.
Yeah, I especially hated when Eugene threw up on Rosita.
Oh,
that was in season 8.
Oh yeah.
But it did feel like season 7.
I didn't like that.
Yeah, me either. Oh boy, that was a mess. So yeah, we have the group. Oh yeah, so we come across the part where they come across the giant logs, and we have them kicking the guy off, with the chain, and he's hanging. So I guess there were saviors on top, but also, like, was Simon behind the logs, or was he on the overpass pushing the guy over? Because I heard his voice, and I'm like, okay, where is Simon? Like, do you guys?
I think we're supposed to assume that he's like on top. Like, I think we're supposed to assume he's on the bridge, but it could be either way. Because, like, honestly, I feel like there should have been a shot where, like, you hear Simon talking and then it focuses on him and like where they're at, just to tell us.
Yeah, Simon just pushes the guy off and then just ducks. He just ducks.
I actually really like that scene where they see him fall over and Aaron tries to shoot the chain, but like Rick's like, we can't waste the bullets. And then,
they know they're gonna need the bullets too because of all the saviors all over the place.
That is true, but it didn't matter anyway.
And then the growing sense of dread on everyone's faces as they realize how badly they screwed the pooch.
Yeah.
One thing I thought was cool was how we actually see that hanging guy again in the season 7 premiere as a walker, and Rick jumped onto him.
I feel like that's like they almost did that in the season 7 premiere to like, at least this is how I look at it. They did it to where like when Rick sees him, he like breaks down when he's on the RV, and then he looks up and he sees the walker guy, and I'm just like, I wonder if like Rick, they're trying to make it like feel like Rick like views himself as like worse than him or something, like,
I don't know. It kind of still took away after what Negan did. Like, it was kind of like a distraction, and it's like, or I felt like it just was used to pad the episode runtime.
All I kept saying during that scene was like, okay, like, are we gonna get to see who got killed, or are we gonna have to wait till episode 2? Like, come on, people.
Yeah, imagine if we had to wait like seasons, like a whole season, just like Rick and Negan adventures, or just like adventures at Alexandria, and just, oh my gosh, and the characters waiting at the
Here we thought season 7 couldn't be worse. They just make us wait the whole season. It's like, you know what? I actually rather the original version.
Yeah, definitely. And okay, so yeah, the characters drive through, and okay, so what did you guys think about this? Okay, so yeah, I like this. So Eugene mentions how the saviors the saviors always know where they are and expect them because they're expecting the RV. So what if somebody goes on foot? So do you think the saviors knew they were heading to the hilltop, or like, because they were?
That was always one of my questions.
Yeah, definitely.
My theory is that Gregory ratted them out.
It's possible.
But then I feel like Simon would have mentioned it in season 7 though. Like that.
That was one of my biggest like questions about go-getters. It's like Simon like knew it, but like didn't say the words to Gregory. It's like he wanted Gregory to say it to him or something.
Well, either that or Gimple is just trying to make us like believe random stuff, and that's how it happened.
Yeah, he's good like that.
Definitely. So yeah, we have the part where Eugene gives Rick the whole recipe for the making the ammunition thing, and we have the part where Eugene says goodbye to Abraham, and it's just.
I will say though that this is even though like Eugene and during some of the stuff coming up after this is kind of a coward. I think this is one of his best moments because it's still like I don't know. I liked it. I thought it was good that he gave the group a chance, at least tried to.
It's true, but I hate what they do in season 7 and 8. Not just Eugene's character, but I think they kind of retcon that scene. I think they said that Simon or Eugene mentioned that when Eugene was stopped, he told them where they were. Like, I think I heard that. Did you guys hear that?
Yeah, I do remember that actually, and I was kind of surprised that they didn't like tell us.
Why did they do that? Like, Eugene has been already as a character for 3 seasons now, 2-3 seasons. And now you say that one of his most defining moments, he completely changed his mind and then told the Saviors. What in the world? I'm sorry, but that means that they got caught because of him, which means that, you know what I mean? Like, that means like they can never, that means they kind of forgave him too easily then. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if it was just Eugene being a savior and saving his own skin, that's fine. But in that situation when he was at the sanctuary, but you're telling me he literally said he was going to distract them and helped them out and then turned his back like that, and then they got caught and then brought here. So I don't know. What do you guys think? That's just crazy to me.
It's some forced writing, honestly.
Wait, I feel it's just another.
Wait, what do you mean? Like, do you think that that's what happened? Because I don't think that's what happened at all.
I think Gimple confirmed it.
I think it's another.
When did he confirm it though?
Wait, what?
Like I always had the idea in my head that like he just got beaten up and it was just all a coincidence.
I did
no,
too.
But I think he did let them know like where they were. I think that's what they were trying to do when they revealed that like they have Eugene and they have the RV and stuff when they got surrounded.
But that's like something that would have been said regardless of how bad of a writer Gimple is. Like that's something that would have had to have been addressed.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I think maybe Simon mentions it or Negan in season 7 and 8, but still, I really don't remember if they mentioned it, but I really could have sworn that there is a mention of that Eugene did give them up. Like, that's just crazy.
I don't think that's the case.
I mean, I could be wrong, but I could swear.
But it makes you wonder though. Like, then how did they find the group? Like, because it's like Eugene was like all beaten up and stuff. Like, I actually do agree with Brian. I think Gimple did actually confirm it at some point.
All right, I'll have to look into it. But if that's the case, then the show sucks even more than I realized before.
Well, I'm sorry, Sixer. Yeah, like I don't mean to, but just wanted to let you know the truth.
A lot of these writing decisions really irreparably destroy whatever sort of sense of importance the show really has,
Yeah, that's why they got Gimple out of there, and they tried to save it with bringing Angela on because they kind of needed to.
That's one of the reasons why Gimple is one of my least favorite showrunners because of what he did with my show.
Even then, like. The damage is already done. Carl's gone. Rick's gone because Carl left. That type of. It's just whatever.
Hey Dan.
Yeah.
Do you feel that Andrew Lincoln left because of Carl?
I actually think that because guys, seriously, think about it. Like, I know he said he wants to be with his family, and I do actually think that is true. I think he wanted to be with his family, but you got to, just go back and watch all of the interviews that Andrew Lincoln had for season 8. Like, they would literally ask him about, what do you think about this war scene? What do you think about this? And I swear he would always relate back to like, man, I wish Chandler was with us. Chandler's like being off the show is so terrible. It's so sad. Like he always mentions that. So I actually think that like what ended up happening is that Andrew Lincoln was like, yeah, I'd like to spend more time with my family. And then he's like, but the show's still good right now. Like I'll stay on. And then it's like, as soon as like Carl left the show, he's like, it just did it for him. He's like, you know what? Yeah, maybe I will actually go with my family because like this is ridiculous.
I mean, it makes sense. Like, he watched Chandler grow from a little boy to like a young teenager, and then all of a sudden he's just getting killed off.
Yeah, I think it just like influenced his decision. Like I think he already kind of thought like, well, maybe I should spend more time with my family and stuff like that. I've been on the show for a while, but then like I said, like maybe he's like, well, the show's still really good right now. And then like when Carl got killed off, he's just like, it kind of just did it for him. Like he's like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna take that, that other side. I'm just gonna leave the show.
I think so too. Guys, we're actually almost done with the episode. This is crazy. So we have the part where the characters are carrying Maggie on the stretcher, and we have the part where Carl mentions how, what happened to Denise. And I mentioned this last live stream. Like, I'm glad they actually brought up, Denise's death, because, like, yeah, she saved Carl, like, back in No Way Out. So I'm like, yeah, they kind of skipped over any kind of friendship or relationship those two could have had in terms of characters. Like, because like in the comic, Carl does have like at least one scene with Denise, but in the show, I don't think any, except for the surgery part. But yeah, like, and Rick is literally about to tell Carl. You can see the confidence kind of fade. Like maybe Rick was about to tell Carl that like somebody might die, and then we hear the whistling, and oh boy, like I remember watching this, and I keep thinking in my head, I'm like, oh no, it's here. I'm not ready for this. Like when I watched the episode, I'm like, yes, I'm so ready for it to see Negan. And then when I hear the whistling, I'm like, no, I'm not ready. I don't know.
That's one thing the episode captured very well, though, is that it's like you feel like, at least when I was watching it live on the TV, when I was watching it, I remember just having this feeling like my heart was going so fast because I'm just like, I know what's happening. I've read the comics. Like, I know what's happening. We can hear the whistling, and it's just like, I don't know. The feeling you actually do feel, which this is why I love The Walking Dead so much. You feel as intense as Rick and the others. You're just like, no, like, please get out of this,
Like, I'm not gonna lie. When I first saw this episode, I was actually shaking.
Me too. I actually was shaking when, like, I don't like the cliffhanger this episode did, but before the season 7 premiere came on, I was shaking before it came on. I'm like, oh my goodness, like 5 minutes left, like,
Definitely. DeRosa says we never got that fight scene between Rick and Negan on the road in the comics. Why couldn't they put that in there? Yeah, do you guys remember the thing in the comic where Negan's like, I can't wait to see what I did to your boy, and then Rick headbutts him in the nose, and then as they're fighting, Rick actually bites him, and Negan's like, you bit me? What the heck? You bit me. Like, we never got that in the show.
That was amazing, honestly. That was such like a funny moment too. I'm just like, Gimple, like, you've got so much amazing stuff from the comic, but you just put your own spin like on it. I'm just like, I don't know.
In my opinion, the TV adaptation that Gimple tried to do of it was Rick versus Negan when they were playing bumper cars for like a split second in episode 12 of season 8.
Yeah,
that's true, but like the budget just like ruined that scene.
Yeah, it just cuts to ad break, and then the car's flipped over.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. We're just not going to show how that happened. We'll just assume that like Rick got him, and like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Oh yeah, that's such a cool stunt that nobody was able to see.
Hey Dan.
Yeah.
From season 6 finale up to current date, overall, how do you feel about Negan's story in the show?
Well, to quickly say it, I would say season 7 is kind of disappointing, but like as a villain, as a character, I actually do like Negan in season 7. But as a villain, I'm not a fan of him. And then season 8, as a villain, even worse. But as a character in season 8, he's like decent, And then season 9, I'm like, yeah, I like him now. And I like in season 9, I don't think season 9 I can view him as much as a villain, because that's when they start doing the redemption stuff. So I would say like, yeah, I like his character in season 9. I thought he was a lot better in season 8. And then season 10 Negan is probably one of the best Negans we've had, because he is probably one of the most enjoyable characters in the show right now for me, because he just has done so much this season. And like, I don't know, I think even though Jeffrey Dean Morgan has been on the show for a while, he really has been just killing it with this redemption stuff. So I think Negan, it's up and down, but at least where I stand with his character right now, as it stands for season 10, I love him. I think it's great to have him in the show.
Like, did he ever surpass the comic version?
I honestly, that's the one thing I don't think that they did well, though, is that I watched the show Negan, and then I read the comics, and I'm like, yeah, we can tell this is, they're trying to adapt the same character, but it just is a bit better in the comic for me in terms of how they did his character.
Agreed. Yeah, season 10 is Negan's season, in my opinion.
It is. I think, I mean, Daryl's a great character and everything, but like, I don't know, Negan really just had the spotlight for that season for me.
And he deserved it in my book.
Yeah, definitely.
So we get the part of the episode the characters are running in the woods, and boom, we get the headlights, and the whistling is very loud, and the characters get surrounded. I mean, man, was this a scene? Just the characters looking back, and there's just all those saviors, and they have like their poker faces on, and yeah, I mean, it was crazy seeing this, and we have the part where. Oh man, I like the part where it's like Simon. It's like you made it, just like.
Welcome to where you're going.
Yeah, exactly. And I was kind of confused. Did he pull the gun on Carl or Abraham? Because they were both on the left side, so I wasn't sure about that. But then I like the part where when Rick's asked, Rick begged for them to talk. He's like, "We're done talking." It's like oh man, it's like Simon is acting like you guys are so grounded right now, like a parent. He's like, "You guys are grounded."
Yeah. Worst punishment ever.
Yeah, definitely. And we have so the characters they lay Maggie down. Even Abraham mentions how they're gonna do it themselves. Because Simon mentioned that. He said, "Let's get her down and get you on your knees." So Simon did acknowledge Maggie in that scene. I'm surprised they didn't question it, like if she was injured or something. They just kind of went with it.
Yeah, that's true. I kind of like, I remember I was watching that scene. I'm just like I know Simon's supposed to come off as like kind of scary in this moment, but it would have been kind of funny if Simon just had this line of like, can she even kneel, or like is she just gonna have to like stay there or something?
Yeah, or
as bad as season 7 and 8 were, Simon made those seasons semi-watchable.
Yeah, I mean, I think more so like I don't like season 7 too much, but I still I love those scenes between Simon and Gregory. They're just so entertaining for me.
Oh, that pancake scene. Wakey,
wakey, eggs, pancakey, Gregory.
And then that line he gave to Gregory, fill your belly with my love. Oh my gosh, Gregory's face.
Well, I know Gregory's just like, what have I like ran into here? Like, seriously, I should have just stayed at Hilltop.
I should have stayed in bed. Oh my goodness. That's probably what Rick is thinking too, because man, the way they did the way Andrew Lincoln did this scene is just amazing.
I love how they zoom out though, like, cause like, do you guys notice how I love this too, cause this whole episode, Rick is like, he's fully confident, and I think the first kind of moment where the confidence went down is once he saw Michonne's dreads, but then in this moment, like, he's actually shaking when they're surrounded, and then when they focus on like him like on his knees, man, I felt like so sad as a Rick fan. I'm just like, dude, like, man, I don't know.
Well, that's the thing, like, the second half of the season when they were leading up to Negan, Rick was so cocky and full of himself.
He was, especially that one line too at Hilltop. It always stays with me too. And I actually thought of this when I was watching this scene when Rick was on his knees. Just in my head, I was just thinking like back to the moment when he's like, confrontation's never been something we've had trouble with. I'm just like, dude, man, like, don't be so sure. Like every villain group is going to be different. I think this is something that like Rick learns that with the Saviors. He's like, yeah, every group is different.
Like, yeah, Rick underestimated Negan.
Big time.
Yeah, so we have the part where they get on the knees, and Simon's like, we got us a full boat. It's like, let's meet the man, and he knocks, and out comes Negan, and Negan, the way Negan smiles is like, you just know he was in the RV. He left a present in the toilet and didn't flush or something. That's probably what he was doing. I'm just saying, like, what was Negan doing in the RV? Like, what was he doing in the RV?
It'd be funny if, like, back in like season 7 at some point, they just show a flashback of him like just messing around in the RV, searching it and stuff.
Yeah, I really wonder what they were doing. Maybe oh yeah, like because Rick sees the bullet holes he made earlier this season. Like, would be funny if like Negan looks at the bullet holes and is like, "Whoa!" I was like, "What happened here?" Like, can you imagine if Negan said that? That would have been kind of funny.
Imagine before he comes out of the RV, we see it in like that'd be the perfect way to end. Here's Negan. Is the final scene of it is just him chilling out in the RV, like with his feet up, reading a comic book, waiting for Simon to give his speech.
Yeah, that's true. Honestly, and like Carl, you got to think about it. Carl had some comic books with him, so it's not that unrealistic that there'd be a few in the RV just sitting there.
Oh man,
Negan's just reading it like, this is a good damn story.
They could even, if they wanted to do like, if they wanted to really like force it, they could even have it be one of Robert Kirkman's comics or something, you know?
Oh, they would.
Like Invincible or like Outcast or some of the other ones he's done.
Right.
Yeah.
My only concern for Here's Negan in the show is I'm really concerned how they're gonna take Negan back how he used to be, because Here's Negan is gonna lead up to how Negan was in the season 7 premiere. So
I think that honestly, like, I feel like Matt actually just said something that I really hope they do. I don't think they're gonna do it because I don't know. I feel like they're just gonna go the cheap route with it. But I really wish that they would do like at the very end of Here's Negan, it's like the timeline syncs up to when he's introduced and he's like just, you know, chilling in the RV, and like maybe the end of the episode we just hear a knock or something and he opens up the door, and then as soon as he opens up the door, this like big like white light shines on the camera, and then that's the end, you know? Like I like, you know, because it's like, okay, now we have the full story, you know?
Yeah, Negan's story is finished at that point.
That would be perfect.
Yep, that'd be great.
It'd be hilarious if it pans over to a comic book and
like, that's my only concern is that, you know, like Negan in season 10, he's not that person anymore. So it's going to be weird seeing him go back to that person.
You know, even though they delayed the Negan, you know, the Here's Negan stuff until now, and I'm just going to say it, I don't think they would have done the Negan backstory if it wasn't for the extra episodes. I just don't think they would have done it, to be honest. But I think that, like, them doing this is going to be perfect because, like, it's I feel like the reason maybe why they didn't do it in season 8, it's also Gimple, but also just because like Negan was supposed to be a hated character in season 8, like we're not supposed to like him, but like fans, there's a lot of fans that are really starting to like Negan now, so it's like doing it now, it'll be easier for even like a lot of the casual fans to watch it now, knowing what the character has done recently, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you see Here's Negan making Negan more likable in terms of the people who hate him?
I mean, like, yeah. I mean, you guys know I love Negan in the TV show. I know he's done some terrible things and killed some characters that is really bad for his character that, you know, they had him do that. But, you know, I personally think Negan is one of the most enjoyable characters the show has left, honestly. And I think that episode, if anything, I don't know. I feel like if they do the episode right, they could definitely give some fans more of a kind of like that response of like, yeah, I kind of like Negan now. Like that episode, it kind of, you know, I'm okay with him now, you know?
Here's my counter argument to the people who hate Negan and are like, oh, he's a terrible human being. Well, this is what I would say about that is Daryl did terrible things in All Out War. Like, he's done worse things than Negan, if you ask me, because he drove the truck into Sanctuary, and Daryl, well, fully knowing that there's, like, women and children in there, like, he didn't give a crap. He was willing to kill them for his mission.
Exactly. Rick was like I was on Team Rick 100% in that scene. Like, Rick literally told Daryl, he's like, there was workers in there, right? Families, too, are there? And there's like, and Daryl's just like, it doesn't matter. We can get them from wherever. And it's just like, dude, did you not just hear what he said? Like, do you just not care? Like, man, like, talk about, like, now that, like, Daryl gets all this fan support, and it's like, why? Like, especially in this season.
Especially the fact that, like, Morgan and Tara were in on it, too, and Michonne almost did it as well.
I mean, Michonne, I'm not going to blame Michonne too much because Michonne and Rosita were out there and like they just, I guess, kind of, so to speak, they just took a ride back to Alexandria with them. And Daryl's like, yeah, we're going to go to the sanctuary first, you know? And it's like, and Michonne wanted to see the sanctuary, but like, I'm just like, I was so glad when she decided, like, she's like, no, I'm not doing this. I'm like, okay, thank you, Michonne. Like, I already hate like Daryl and Tara. This is too much.
If I were
Do you-
Michonne, I would have tried to subdue
me
Daryl.
personally, I blame Daryl the way he was in season 8 on Gimple. Because I mean, even Norman Reedus hated how Daryl was in season 8.
That's true because, like, you guys, I don't know if you guys saw some of the interviews, but like Norman Reedus in season 8, I actually mentioned this last stream too. Like Norman Reedus in season 8, like when they asked Norman about Walking Dead during season 8, he's like, "Yeah, I'm on The Walking Dead. Okay, yeah." But then, and then in season 9, like when people ask Norman Reedus about Walking Dead, or even season 10, he's like, "Yeah, Angela Kang has brought this like new life to the show. I'm so proud of her." Like, you know, you could just tell like he can't say it, but you can tell like he's just like, I am so glad right now, like, you know, that she took over.
Yeah.
Okay, Daryl's character in season 8 was 100% Gimple.
Yeah, like
agreed.
Like Daryl, what Norman Reedus is saying, yeah, Angela King is bringing new life in this show. It's very fun. What he's actually thinking, oh my gosh, thank God for her. Gimple's writing, I was hating it. You know, like what they're thinking, what they're saying.
Yeah, because I remember Norman Reedus was even on like Jimmy Fallon, I think it was, and like he's just like, dude, you're the man on The Walking Dead, and like Norman Reedus is like, yeah, Angela Kang, our new showrunner, she has brought so much to the show, and I'm just like, yeah, dude, you're in your mind, you're just like, I'm so happy right now that she's showrunner.
Yeah. Sixer left the chat. If you guys didn't know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So he said goodbye.
Compared to season 8, season 9 is such a strong season.
Definitely.
Yeah, season 9. Like honestly, I love season 6 because of the roster and just the characters they have. But like, let's be real, season 9 is a close second. It is a quality season.
Yeah, they didn't have like, I would say they didn't have like writing issues like the cliffhanger like season 6 had, but season 6 just had, you know, the fan favorites, at least the majority of them, and they were like mostly all enjoyable that season.
And also season 6 is the best season because like not only like do they have good episodes like most of the way through, but also it has, in my opinion, the best work Walking Dead has done with No Way Out.
Definitely.
You know, like my opinion, I feel like the reason Rick's, you know, like absence in season 6 after his exit worked so well was because of Dog.
Oh, you mean season 9?
Well, yeah, season 9.
Yeah,
I kind of feel like the reason why the show did so well though after Rick left is because I mean I think there's a number of different reasons, but the two, like I'd say there's 3 that stand out to me. One is Judith, the other one is the Whisperers and what they brought to the show, and then I feel like just how they fixed Daryl's character, and you could also bring Dog into this too. That I don't know, the way they fixed Daryl's character in season 9, it did help out the show without Rick a little bit.
DeRosa says, up until that point, we have never seen Rick that scared. Yeah, that's true. Absolutely. With the governor, with Garrett, we never seen that before. And he says, LOL, before you see the door open, you hear the bathroom flushing. LMAO. Oh, I guess he's making a joke. Like, if Negan, like, if, like, they knock and then Negan comes out and then you hear a flushing sound. You know, it'd be funny if it just panned over to a comic that he was reading and it's issue 100. I know they can't do it, but that would be hilarious. Like Matt said, it's like this book is awesome, and it's like he's actually living the story. Like, how crazy would that be? I don't know. That would be just a funny thing.
That'd be breaking the fourth wall to like the highest extent.
It would be like Deadpool. It'd be like Negan is flat out Deadpool or something.
He's just like reading like
the Deadpool of The Walking Dead.
He's just like reading the 100th issue of the comic, and he's just like, man, I like this guy. He's like, I really like this villain. Like, man, I'm getting some ideas from this.
Yeah.
I know this might be controversial, but season 9 is perfect.
I mean, I don't know if it was perfect for me, but it was. I mean, aside from a bit of a kind of slow finale and a few other minor details, I don't know. I could see that. I think season 9 did a pretty good job.
Yeah, season 9 wasn't perfect. It had issues with the Pike deaths and a little bit in the finale, but Rick's exit was well done. The characters were mostly all amazingly written, and the way they did the time skips and having Judith sort of replace Carl because they had no choice, I would say that was really good, and it was unavoidable.
Yeah. And also because like season 9 actually, like I feel like as time goes on I respect season 9 more though, because like hearing just recently that I don't, we don't know for sure, but let's hope that they can, if they're right about this, that they can actually start filming the movie at some point this year. Then it makes season 9 look just a little bit better, because it's like, okay, like now I understand, like now it's like, okay, I'm glad Rick survived, because now we're going to see the movie and now we actually know what's happening.
Rick's exit was incredible. Michonne's exit, not so much.
I do not like Michonne's exit.
Michonne's exit is just weird. It's like they just took a bunch of old footage and they just redid it, and it's like, really? You couldn't have had, like, I don't know. I feel like what would have added to it, and I don't even think this would have fixed it, but it would have just been a nice addition, is if they had Andrea, like, actually had Laurie Holden return,
Yo, straight up, I actually went back and rewatched that old footage, right? Like, I watched season 10, episode 13 recently, and freaking, the lineup scene when Michonne's talking to Rick, it looks mad out of place when, like, it zooms up on their two faces. Like, it looks weird.
It does. The way they did the lighting in that was just, like, I don't know, it felt off. And then they also did, like, the whole, like, Rick, like, in the satellite station shooting at Michonne, and she's like almost getting shot by Rick, and it's just like, I don't know, like, could you just think of something better,
She looks like she's on, like, a piece of, like, animated CGI cardboard crap.
I know.
And you know what's funny? In the lineup, you see DJ and Laura there, but obviously they weren't. They weren't even. It's like no, it was these guys who were in the lineup. It's like, I don't know. It was just one of those things where it's like they didn't even get the lineup right.
It was so annoying too, because like you just hear that like echo too, like obviously like it's an hallucination, but it just drove me crazy because they did this a few times too, like it's just like my right hand gal, Michonne. It's like, oh man, come on, like this is not an exit that is like needed for a character like her.
It didn't feel real in that scene then.
Michonne's exit, that's my least favorite episode in season 10.
I think it's the second worst. I think We Are the End of the World is more torture for me.
It is absolutely. DeRosa says, "Wait, what? What, man?"
I actually don't mind episode 2.
What?
Yeah, I mean,
how can you not mind it?
I'm with Brian on this one. I remember like when I reviewed that episode, I tried to like put like all the positives into the review, but like I remember I was just like, after about 10 minutes in the review, I'm like, okay, like I can't give this episode too high of a rating.
Darn.
Yeah.
Honestly, dude, Ronnie Hayes loved that episode like more than like almost every other episode in season 10. I'm like, dude, are you kidding me? Like,
well, Ronnie Hayes likes Last of Us too, so
he
does?
likes like everything we don't. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, Ronnie Hayes loves Last of Us too, and he tries to justify its awfulness by saying it's like a reboot and stuff.
Yeah, it's
not
man.
a reboot.
Actually,
it's a
honest,
continuation.
I didn't even watch a lot of that, but I believe you. He probably did stick up for him a lot.
Oh,
that's one thing I don't get about Ronnie Hayes is I've seen his flaw in Oz for all episodes of season 10, and he just bashes every episode in season 10.
I know. It's like I know the first half was like a bit slow, but it's still like I honestly feel like right now, from what I've seen from Ronnie, he actually thinks probably that season 10 is the worst season because he actually liked like season 7.
Oh my goodness, guys, we can't trust him anymore. He got bought by Gimple or something. He's one of them now.
Also another thing too, like what happened to his Flaw and Awe videos? It's like he did it for a small time and he still advertises it on his channel, but now it's just like non-existent anymore. It's just weird.
Yeah, not to mention this isn't any content wise, but he's legit rude to people that question him in his chat, by the way.
I know. That's why I can't join his live streams anymore. It's just not, I just can't.
It's not a friendly environment.
Ronnie Hayes, he bought that Friday the 13th Blu-ray pack. He said he was going to work on Flaw and Oz for that franchise, and he never did.
I know. And it's like, I still can't believe, too, that it's like he bashes season 10 so much. And then, like, a few months ago, like, I'd say maybe, 2 weeks before the season 10 finale came out, he's like, I got an early screener for the season 10 finale. I'm like, Really? Like, dude, all you've done is hate on this season, and you get early access before any of us. Like, really?
Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah, Ronnie Hayes is a jerk.
I know.
Like, yeah, in my opinion, season 10 is not a bad season. It's nowhere near as bad as season 7 or 8.
I know. Like, listen, not everything is like amazing, but it's, and some parts are slow in that season for sure. But like, I still love that season way more than at least a few other seasons in the show.
Wait, don't Ronnie Hayes love World Beyond?
No,
No,
dude,
he hates it.
he hates it.
So we agree.
doesn't
We
even
kind
give
of
it a
agree with
chance.
that. We kind of agree with that, I suppose. World Beyond is not doing as good as it could be. It is very cringy.
Who's the one who like really likes it? Because I know there's like a Walking Dead reviewer who like loves it or something.
I can't remember off the top of my head.
Is it Movie Idol? Or
No.
I think Movie Idol's been harsh on it too, though.
okay.
No, but Movie Idol Movie Idol is good about it though, because Movie Idol still tries to find positives, but he acknowledges it's bad too. That's what I like about him.
I know Trev hates it.
Yeah, well, Trev, don't even. I don't know.
Trev.
Yeah.
Speaking of Trev, I unsubbed him.
Yeah, I'm getting there. I'll be honest. Give it a little bit. I may honestly, because like he's just like I literally noticed like I think maybe about a month ago or something. He just had like I think like a few videos that got taken down. It's like, dude, like shouldn't you like view this as like a wake up call to stop doing this like conspiracy stuff?
You know what he did a few days ago, or not a few days ago, but like really recently, is he titled a video off The Walking Dead, talked about The Walking Dead for like a minute, and then the other 15 minutes was like this Paul McCartney dead theory.
Oh, I know. I'm just like, dude, like, could you not? Like, it's false advertising. I'm sorry, it is. It's clickbait.
It is totally just to retain the old fans. I'm gonna be honest. I think Trev isn't a fan of The Walking Dead anymore.
No, I think that's obvious. Honestly, I think that I hate to say it, but I think Trev just does it because he knows that people will watch the Walking Dead content.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm getting that vibe too because he used to have like a huge Walking Dead collection behind him, the comics, and now his collection doesn't have a lot of Walking Dead in it anymore.
No, you literally see behind him like on his shelf, like he has like he used to have all this Walking Dead stuff. Now he's got like all this conspiracy stuff like on his shelf. I'm like, dude, are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's. I mean, nobody wants to see that, honestly. You know what I mean? It's just.
I know.
For
I have a
200,000
Walking Dead
views,
collection.
he's like
I have a
cracking like
Walking Dead
2,000.
collection I'm very proud of.
I
have a Walking Dead collection that I'm very proud of.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, me too. I love my Walking Dead collection, and honestly, if it wasn't for the lack of them releasing stuff, I would be adding more stuff to it. And I always try to, but man, it's just lately Walking Dead has been slowing down with the merchandise. But yeah.
All right, so really quick, we're almost done with the episode, guys. Thank you, by the way, for staying this long. We're almost at 2 hours now, and all right, wait.
Hey, Brian.
Yeah, Epic.
I just want to say congrats on 60 live streams.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Epic. I appreciate it. It's thanks to you guys that I was able to do all these live streams. Because, yeah, like, I can't believe it. I'm almost at, 60. I will hopefully get to, and I think I will, I'll get to 100 by the time the year, before the year ends. And that'll be a crazy live stream. 100,
My prediction is we'll get to the 100th live stream if we are going at the pace we're at with the collab streams. Probably get there by June or July, maybe.
I know that. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, man, we may not even actually have to wait till the end of the year potentially.
Yeah. So we have the part where we have the part where Negan introduces Lucille, and it's ripped from the comics, but they add in a few details like Carl noticing the gun. And they take out the part in the comic where Negan compliments Michonne and also mentions how he's not going to kill Glenn because he's not a racist, or Heath. You know what I mean? They took that out from the show. Do you guys? I think I'm kind of glad they did that because it kind of it might be a little forced, just to have Negan say, "I can't kill you because you're black."
They should have though. They should have cut out. I would honestly rather them cut out some of the Carol stuff and the Morgan stuff and add more Negan dialogue, honestly. I know people complain that Negan talked for too long, but I'd rather more of that than the Carol stuff.
Yeah, that's one thing I loved about Negan's introduction is his lines were ripped from the comics.
Yeah, I mean, guys, let's remember he was reading issue 100 before he came out of that RV.
He memorized. He actually was reading the script. Oh, that would be funny if he was actually reading the script.
I was gonna say he did a pretty good job, honestly. He memorized pretty much everything.
Yeah. And man, just the way everything is so tense. The characters, we have the moment where Glenn freaks out, and then he gets put back in the lineup, and then Rick just looks absolutely terrified, and we have the line from Negan where it's like, it sucks, don't it? You don't know crap. Just oh man, that's that. I mean, just it's ripped from the comics, but I will say, like, yeah, Jeffrey D. Morgan did a good job. The way they had the lighting, and also just kind of like the zoomed in shots. You know what I mean? In those moments, it was well done.
Yeah, I love the part. Yeah.
Do you agree with me that the season 7 finale Negan in the show looked like comic Negan?
Yeah, I mean he did, but there was one problem I had with Negan in the season 7 finale is that it's like he did look like him because he was clean shaven in the season 7 finale, but his hair was way too long. It drove me crazy.
And the beard.
Yeah, well, I mean, he only had a little bit of facial hair in the finale, but it was still, it was a little noticeable still.
It's like
7, episode 8 is the ideal Negan look for me.
It is, I know, with like the clean shaven. He looks scary. Like, I don't know what it is.
Because I'm a huge Negan fan. Like, I have 2 pops of him. I have a replica of Lucille from the comics. I even have a 7-inch Negan figure from the show. So yeah, I love Negan.
Yo, look at your screens real quick.
Yeah.
Show you my Negan comic collection. I got that, issue 17, and Negan Lives. Those are like the 3 main Negan comics.
Volume 17's cover is amazing. I love that cover.
Look at that.
Hey Dan.
Yeah.
It was Negan.
Sorry, Epic. What was that?
Was Negan Lives a bad comic?
Honestly, I don't really I don't hate it. I'm not against the idea. I think I would take it rather than leave it, but I just think that I guess the word I'll use for it is unnecessary, to be honest. Specifically if they're not going to take the story anywhere. Yeah, I don't know. I'm okay with it, but I didn't love it. I think that it felt kind of random, and now that the story feels like it's probably not going to go anywhere, I'm kind of maybe a 6 out of 10 for that comic is where I'm at.
I think it was a cheap cash grab. First off, there is a Rick clone and a Lydia clone in that issue, which is kind of confusing. Negan never.
I think that they should have just honestly done if they wanted to, because the deluxe comics I'm losing interest in. I just can't with those. But honestly, I would much rather them do every month a Negan Lives comic and actually have a new story. I don't know.
Hey Brian.
Yeah, Epic.
Wasn't Rick dead before that comic came out?
Yeah, he was. Negan never got to find out that Rick died.
So how is he in that comic?
No, I said a Rick clone.
Oh.
He just looks like Rick.
Yeah, I know. It actually threw me off when I saw it. I'm like, what?
Because I'm pretty sure during the events of Negan Lives, Rick is dead.
Yeah.
Hey, Dan.
Yeah.
Why do you think Kirkman killed off Rick in the comics?
Honestly, I don't know. I'll be honest. I really don't know why. I feel like maybe he always thought that The Walking Dead should end with the end of Rick. So I don't know. Maybe he just thought it was time. But I don't actually hate the death. I just the way it's done and who kills him. That's when I have a problem with it. Because I don't mind the death with the whole idea of the statue in the town and stuff. I don't mind that idea, but it's who kills him. That's when I'm just really? Did you really have to do that to the legendary Rick Grimes? I don't know.
Can you imagine if they did that in the show? Another year or so from now, that's how they have Andrew Lincoln go out. You think that would be the next Game of Thrones ending?
That would be worse just because there'd be so much hype around Rick coming back, and then you do that, and then I feel like that would be worse than the ending of Game of Thrones because that's you just kill your lead after he returns, you know?
Oh no, I meant before he left.
Like my opinion, Charlie is actually worse than Sebastian because I know like Charlie killed Nick, but she kind of got like like a good outcome. Whereas in the comics, Sebastian got locked up.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I actually I'm not against like I'm not a Charlie fan at all, but I think the actress is actually decent. I just don't think the character works well.
That's the one thing Fear Season 6 needs to do is they need to kill that character off.
Well, also because like Alicia's like buddies with her now. I'm just like I love Alicia, but like I'm it's such a head scratcher every time like she's just like hanging out with Charlie, you know?
Nah, it's petty in my opinion that like that's why I can't stand Alicia. It's like this person shot your like older brother and you're like buddy with them now. Like what?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I love Alicia. She's one of my favorite characters, but I do agree. It's like for me when I watch it, I'm just like, I know you forgave her, but like Ian and Andrew are not the showrunners anymore. Like you can kill her now.
It's like Maggie hanging out with Negan in 10C. Like, oh hey, we're buddies.
Yeah, I know. Well, no, I don't. I think that one's gonna be a bit different though. I think Maggie's gonna put up a fuss.
Oh, you know it.
Yep, and it's gonna feel so weird too because it's like, yeah, she had her chance to kill him, but now like it's like no, now it's her turn. Like it's like, yeah, you don't get another chance, you know?
I swear, if Maggie starts like, oh, I'm gonna kill Negan in episode 17, I'm gonna be like, no, you need to sit down and like stop, straight up.
I know.
As decent as Charlie is in season 6, I'm never gonna forgive her for shooting Nick.
No, me neither. I don't. Oh, no. I mean, I feel like they have so many like useless characters in Fear. Like I'm finally starting to enjoy Fear again, but they need to get rid of some of those like characters, and she's one of them.
Yeah, the truckers, Luciana, maybe Charlie, Strand too. I mean, we need a big cleaning.
June.
Yeah.
We just need a big cleanup.
I don't
we're
mind
cleaning
Sarah or Wendell.
Yeah,
I will agree. Sarah and Wendell do need to go. One of them.
I mean, I'd be fine with both of them at this rate.
Sarah and Wendell feel out of place, man. They feel like Z Nation characters.
They do. They need to get them out of there because like the show is finally good again. But then anytime, even in season 6, when you have a scene with Sarah, as much as I love the show, I'm still just like, no, they don't belong.
They feel so weird. Like Ian and Andrew are gone. Like you can get rid of these awful nightmare creations they made now.
I know.
So whatever they do in season, I guess looks like Epic left.
Is he gone?
Oh wait, he's coming back. Whatever they do with Virginia in season 6 with the lineup that looks like we're gonna get in the promo, it's not gonna compare to the lineup with Negan in this episode.
You just imagine like she just ends up killing more characters, like, but it's like less like important characters. But I feel like that's their opportunity in episode 8, though, to just get rid of any like unnecessary characters. And I feel like they're about to miss the opportunity because I don't think they're going to kill many of them.
Man, I had this awful theory, and I hope it ain't true. But the theory is that Daniel is going to get shot by Strand in the head in the lineup.
What again? Again?
They're thinking that Strand will finish him this time. That's the rumor.
Oh my goodness. I hope not. What, Epic?
Can't hear you, man.
Yeah.
Is your microphone all the way in? Or all the way up? You know, volume?
If that happens, I'm done with Strand.
Oh, okay.
If that happens, you're done with Strand?
Yeah, I think that's what he said.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree though. I think Strand is here we thought season 8 Eugene was bad. Strand he's giving him a run for his money, that's for sure.
Definitely.
I'd say he's worse than Eugene because Strand, I feel like Strand is blindly loyal to these clowns now.
I know. And like, well, I mean, I don't know though, because like Virginia's just like, what side are you? He is like yours, but it's just, I don't know, it feels weird.
if he switches sides and like sabotages the Pioneers, then it's just gonna feel like a Eugene ripoff from the Saviors.
Yeah, it will. I'm kind of just I don't know. I before they did this whole Pioneers thing, I just don't like Strand now. But even before the Pioneers, I was just bored with his character. So I'm not gonna say I'm bored with his character. I just don't like him anymore. You know?
Yeah, especially in season 3 when he sold the group out to Proctor John.
Oh yeah. I mean, I was kind of like as soon as he sold the group out, I'm like, yeah, that's classic Strand. But then once he shot Daniel in the face, that's when I'm like, okay, you've crossed the line. You know?
It's like it baffles me that this guy is still around for 6 seasons with all the treachery he's done.
I know, and it's like by all means, like I mean, I feel like I still need to acknowledge like Coleman Domingo. I think he's great, but just the character, I'm not a big fan of.
Like, can't we keep Travis?
I know
they should have.
If I'm being honest, I was never a fan of Strand.
Me
No.
either. Even in season 1, I didn't like his character that much. Season 2, not interested. Season 3, I'm like, okay, he's annoying. He shot Daniel in the face. Season 4, I'm like, okay, why is he still around? Season 5, I'm like, he's a filler character now. It wasn't. I mean, he had
feel
some
like
moments in season 5.
Like the only reason why they kept Strand around though is because like they knew that they already killed off Nick and Madison, and they knew that like the fans were going to be upset. So they're like, well, if we're going to get like way too much hate if we kill off another season 1 character, it's like honestly, I wouldn't be that upset if they did that. To be honest,
I'm gonna be honest. As much as I didn't like Madison, I'll take her over this prick.
I know.
DeRosa says that Rick movie better be amazing with all the time to write an amazing script. I hope so.
I know.
Yeah,
that movie better be like the best movie like in all like of all time. You know.
I hope they write it well.
Cyberpunk turned out though.
Oh,
Alicia over Strand.
You want Alicia to kill Strand?
No, I prefer Alicia over Strand.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That goes without saying. I feel like
absolutely.
Daniel
DeRosa
is my top tier OG fear character. It's Daniel for me.
Yeah, it's a shame what they're doing here with him. In okay, like season 5 was bad, but at least season 6 there's potential. But he was still really underused. It's like, dude, like this guy is like they have a John Wick in the cast, and they're not using him like how he was in season 3.
Funny. Daniel in season 6 is just Morgan's assistant. It's so weird.
I know he should be a lead.
They're just not giving him enough screen time.
My only problem with Daniel is how he kept leaving and coming back.
That's the actor.
Yeah,
I was gonna say that's the actor just not being 100%, interested, unfortunately.
Well, yeah, but it kind of got redundant.
I mean, I can't blame the actor for wanting to leave over and over again in season 5, though. To be honest, like he's just probably looking at these scripts. He's like, "What is the point of being here?" You know?
Yeah, I would get his point. Season 5 is one of the worst seasons of the Walking Dead universe, in my opinion.
It is, and the second half of season 4 of Fear too.
Yeah, I actually don't mind the first half of season 4. I think there's some decent episodes there.
Yeah, I would have liked the first half of season 4, and I actually still do, to be honest. But the only thing that takes that down a bit is Madison dying. Like, I'm not a Madison fan, but just for the show, like it's so weird.
Yeah, and Nick too. Nick dying for me as well was bad.
I mean, Nick is not like a big flaw for me though, because the actor wanted to leave, so I kind of feel like they had to.
Right. I guess it's just the way he died I didn't like. Like a kid shoots him. Like, in my opinion, they should have kept Madison around, and Nick could have had the sacrifice at the stadium.
Yeah, honestly, that would have made more sense, and then at least Charlie wouldn't be as hated.
Charlie would actually be a decent character that we could all actually maybe like in season 6.
I know.
Hold on, guys. Epic's trying to say something.
I feel season 4 is actually a little better than 5.
He says
I
that.
agree.
Yeah. The first half of season 4, it's really good. I honestly wasn't sure that Madison died, but the fact that in the second half they kind of show more proof that Madison's dead. That's also where I had problems. Because like when you see it, it's not the worst. If it's a fake out death, it kind of works. Like another dumpster situation. It's not the worst thing. I'd rather have had them do a dumpster death than off-screen death. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
So really quick, guys, we're almost done. Let's see. DeRosa says Ronnie Hayes a clown, And he also says Ronnie Hayes is Pimple's apprentice. Okay, so we get the part in the episode. We know what happens. Negan does his eeny, meeny, miny, mo. And, oh, man, my heart was just racing throughout this. And this is where I just stopped liking the Negan scene. This is where it just went downhill because we have Negan, picking... Well, we don't know it, but it's Abraham, and then he kills him, and it's off screen. He kills the cameraman, basically. That joke has been around for 5 years now, so...
Poor cameraman.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, that's that's it. The episode. That's the last day on Earth.
I love how we've been talking for the last 2 hours about how amazing this episode is, because it really is. But then we just end this review with just being what a lackluster ending.
Yeah. People say it's the worst ending in cinematic or TV history.
That goes to the. I won't spoil it for you guys. But in my opinion, the worst ending of TV show history is the series finale for Dexter.
I haven't seen that, so I can't share my opinion on that.
It's abysmal, man.
Just like Game of Thrones.
Watch it though, because if the ending's bad, it just makes me be why should I spend my time watching it?
The first 4 seasons are good, but then after season 5, they get a new writer and it goes down the crapper.
Brian.
The way.
Yeah, Epic, I can hear you.
I knew that it was gonna end on a cliffhanger once they showed first person and Negan was pointing the bat towards us.
Yeah, I was like, who is it?
You know what would have been crazy though is if they did if they kept the point of view shot, but then he's you can breathe, you can cry, you're all going to be doing that, and instead of him hitting the camera, you don't know until he just hits. And then it shows who by when they get hit. It just be what? It's you're surprised that Negan hits the person, but then you see the person all at the same time,
You guys want some comedy gold? Go watch the Skybound reactions for the season 6 finale and watch the ending part.
I did. People were so pissed.
I can't blame them.
People are like, how could you do this to me? I have anxiety now. Why?
Yeah.
Hey, Dan.
Yeah.
Would you agree that season 5 is unwatchable garbage? I'm talking about Fear.
I mean, honestly, at least the second half is. I think the first half has some okay parts. I actually am not a huge fan of Fear. I'm not a huge hater on the season 5 premiere Fear. It's okay for me, and then Episode 2 really slow. 3 is actually really good with Dwight, but then the rest of the season, it's just so bad. And it just gets so much worse. So I think actually you could say it's unwatchable garbage at this rate.
World Beyond season 1 for me is as well, except for the premiere and the finale.
Okay, I'm gonna end it.
Agreed. You have to end it, Brian?
Hey guys, did I miss anything? Did I miss anything?
Nope, not really. Just talking about how terrible Fear is.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Me personally, I'm glad season 6 is good because I don't want to hate the show.
No, yeah, definitely. I hear your opinion on that because it's none of us are here because we want to see how Fear is how bad Fear does this week. We want to watch it to enjoy it, and actually finally for once I can actually say every week I watch the show and I look forward to it. So that's good.
The episode. What's up, Brian?
Just wanted to let you know, guys, I do have to end the stream in the next minute or so. So my family came back. They brought some food, and I got to go downstairs and eat. So,
no problem, Brian.
Yeah. So what did you want to say, Matt? If we can wrap it up.
Okay, yeah. I was going to say... Actually, I forget.
Sorry.
It's going to be one of those things where it's the stream ends and then you'll remember. It's no.
Yeah,
it's okay. Just write in the comments. I'll respond. But yeah, guys.
I have to go too, actually. So good timing.
Okay, yeah, that's great. Hey guys. Oh wait. Hey guys. Before we go, what episode do you guys want me to do next? I want this to
be. I suggested this one, so I'll let people decide.
Hey Brian.
I want to give people their turn.
What about season 8, episode 12?
Dude, you literally read my mind.
Season
Hey,
8,
Brian.
episode 12. Yapik?
I suggested season 6, episode 10. Remember?
Season 6, episode 10? Oh, right. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I guess
the
I
next
forgot. Yeah, I'm sorry, Epic. I guess, would it be okay if we did Matt's first, since I don't think he ever suggested one?
Yeah.
Yeah, plus that's actually one of the episodes of season 8 I could actually rewatch and, be okay with watching. For sure.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I know you like GTA 5, but are you a fan of the Red Dead Redemption series?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I think Red Dead Redemption is really good. I mean, I don't know. I feel like GTA is just more of a fun game for me, but yeah, I do like Red Dead.
Awesome.
So you've played Red Dead 2?
Oh yeah.
You should do a review on it.
Yeah, the only reason why I haven't is because I haven't really had like anybody asking me about it. But I mean, yeah, if that's something people would be interested in, I definitely could do that.
All right, guys, I have to head out now. I have to head downstairs and eat. Thank you guys so much. So next week, I'm probably going to do The Key. And yeah, guys, thank you for the suggestion. Thank you for talking with me. I really appreciate it. Stay safe out there, guys. Stay healthy. And thank you guys so much. Have a good night.
Take it easy, guys.
See you guys.
All right. Bye.
Bye.